I'm looking at the fight or the argument, and I got my jersey. My jersey is with y'all, right?
Right,
I'm in the boat with Logic or not Logic, but
Brass, yeah.
Brass
Yep.
and
I
Psycho
got the
and
jersey
Jumpy
on
and
too.
all these
I
guys.
feel the same way, bro.
I got a
Yep.
Psycho Patriots jersey on, but I'm in the audience looking at
yeah,
my team lose stuff.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I feel you.
listen.
I feel you. I feel
Listen,
you,
Hey,
Corey.
I'm just
Corey.
gonna say right now, my self-esteem is not any. It's one notch higher. I will say it's one notch higher, and that's thanks to Cuban Crisis. Cuban
Yo,
Crisis is
Corey.
the only
Cuban.
one that got my
see,
self-esteem
y'all
up
can't.
notch.
Hey,
See, we
Corey.
can't
Hold
let
on.
Somebody
Chef
drop a
say shit
bomb for
like the
Cuban.
French was
Cuban,
gonna
Cuban.
bust the Haitian's head, right? We can't say that and then let the nigga win. You know what I'm saying? Now he
Hey,
dancing in
Corey.
the end zone, bro. We got to get this nigga.
Hey, Corey, let me say something to you. No. Hey, Corey, while you talk about what jersey you got on, I'm going to
Oh
tell you,
shit!
this is the owner of the team. We no longer want y'all niggas' services. So we've traded you, Logic, Fatty, and Tony to the other team. So that way it's no
Man, that's
confusion.
crazy,
And I give you
bro.
clarity on what team y'all niggas playing for.
You giving me a refund on my
crazy.
season ticket then?
Hey,
Your 10-day
Brad just spoke
contract
for the
is up.
Negro delegation. Brad just spoke for the Negro
Oh,
delegation,
my
and he done traded y'all three niggas. That's funny to the motherfucker, yo.
That's something else, man.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This has been a good one though. And the funny
man.
part is when Chef turns this motherfucker up, he keeps lighting the match, throwing the gas on the goddamn fire, and then walking out the goddamn room. Chef ain't even in this motherfucker no more. Like he did that so many times yesterday. Got
Nigga say
niggas
I'm back.
arguing. You
The
feel me?
one thing.
Got niggas about to, cussing each other out, about to. This nigga done, this nigga done left out to go fuck up, to go give a Jewish taper. That shit.
The fact of the matter is, Cuban. The reason why I'm saying that Cuban got a point off in there is because it was his original. Like he came up with it. It's his original thought, right? But it's one of my talking points, right? One of my talking points is that African Americans showed the whole world how to behave, right? But when you put it in the way that Cuban put it, he says that African Americans is a part of Western civilization.
Yeah.
So again, that entails Shepard winning the argument again.
Right.
But
That's my
it brings
point.
up my self-esteem a notch. It got my esteem up a notch from
No.
that point.
Wait a second. But when you say Western civilization, is by default because they were kidnapped and brought here. So it wasn't because they wanted to be here. It wasn't because they fucking wrote a letter for a visa or a green card.
But you would still have to consider it Western civilization at that point, though. At that point, they were fighting.
Y'all get hung up on the why.
I would say,
the why
I would say,
all of that.
I would, me
My
personally,
bad, Cuban. Go ahead.
This is just how I would word it personally. Like, I would say instead of African American, I would say Africans in America, or Africans in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay.
Because I mean, this might be another word because I know environmental colonization and colonialism fucking gave you guys conniptions. Linguistic imperialism. That's another factor. Linguistic imperialism is when a person, the one that is imperializes a group of people and subjects them to their language, subjects them to what they want to call them. So there was no West Central Africans brought here, kidnapped, that were calling themselves Americans. This is a term that comes later. But why did it come later? So when we talk about liberation, liberation is more than just physical bondage. Liberation is mentally, spiritually, the things you succumb to socially, the languages, the names, the customs, everything that's imposed upon you, forced upon you, and things that people assimilate and adapt and synchronize, these things to survive. But that's the key point. It's for survival. So it's not because they wanted to, they did to survive. So there's a lot with the fucking subject. It's a very complex subject. So the only thing I can say is that the Western Hemisphere, they Africans, can nobody outdo what they did for their own people. Your ancestors, what they did. There's nobody else to look to. Greatness came from your people. That I wouldn't be what the fuck I'm into and everything like that if it wasn't for Black revolutionaries in this country, if it wasn't for movements, if it wasn't for a Panther Party, if it wasn't for whatever. I wasn't inspired. I wasn't inspired at 12 years old by Che Guevara. Che Guevara came later, learning about Che. I was inspired by learning about somebody like Elijah Muhammad. Learn what's the Nation of Islam, what's this about, what's that about, and those things open doors to other things, to finding out things that, interestingly enough, I felt a connection with because of things socially, things that was done unjustly. Predicaments, you speak English, people I come from was forced to speak Spanish. Your last name is Thompson, this last person's name is Jimenez. It's a slave name. You're a Protestant, you're a Baptist, a First Baptist, Second Baptist, AME. This person is Catholic, Roman Catholic, slave religion. So these.
So is there an example? Is there an example in the world of liberation at all?
No.
No.
Y'all can say
because
it's you. I don't know who that is, but I'll say no.
No, I don't think
we ain't never seen liberation before.
No, no. We've never seen. No, we've never seen. We've seen liberation. Liberation from your oppressor. When they telling you what liberation is, if you had me under slavery and you telling me my liberation is Reconstruction, then we haven't seen it. If you telling me that my liberation is the slave codes and Jim Crow, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. If you telling me, if France is saying we're liberating you from slavery, but then also charge you 150 million francs at basically with cannons in front of me, then no, we have not seen it. We've seen the version of liberation that they like to say, but I don't think the liberation of the dictionary even fits what the hell they talking about. And Corey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They will say on one hand that think that it is admirable. Look what America has done with all these Black women that are so educated, and we got them out into the workforce and this, that, and the other. And then the whole fucking time, they're the largest ones that's getting their wages stole from them. That ain't no fucking liberation. That's why my argument is that there isn't no liberation. That, when you say when Martin Luther King got the civil rights, everybody brings up Martin Luther King. There's a reason why he immediately realized in his zeal for the civil rights, he forgot the economic part. That still ain't, he realized that we still wasn't liberated. There is no situation specifically for African Americans, who I'm talking about right now. There's never been, y'all can say small hats and all of that, and I can study it, but I want you to show me a time when they didn't, hey Corey, they told us we abolished segregation, but you niggas can only live in these communities. You could fight for us. Yeah, of course you can fight in the military. And then the GI Bill don't apply to us when we get fucking home. See, it's never a situation where you actually liberated. Not in the truest sense of the word. It's just liberation in their sense of the word. And that's the only liberation that they know. They don't know any other liberation, because you know what they can't relinquish in their liberation? Liberation's definition shouldn't depend on the control. They never relinquish the control. Ever.
Yeah.
But you know, who am I? I'm just a fucking,
right. Which took me back. which would took me back to the other conversation we had about the Katrina explosion, right? Because in that Katrina explosion, it made me think about, well, then if it's always going to be about that, then like then voting becomes somewhat of an illusion too.
But you keep talking about people. See, the difference in the
Mm.
Katrina conversation is you keep talking about people. There were failures in structures and systems in Katrina, but specifically within Katrina, there was a failure of people, the governor, the mayor, the sheriff. Then there was a person who went in and regulated a situation. That's an event. I'm not talking about a time period. That was an event. I don't like to confuse a time period with an event conversation. And then when you're talking about that, just understand that we're talking about structures and systems versus people. I don't want to talk about people and events. We're talking about whole swaths of people, not black people in New Orleans, black people, period. So when you do that and you start talking about, well, Katrina, have the whole conversation with Katrina. If the motherfucker, let's say that those levees, let's say if those levees were exploded, the conspiracy theory was true, right? That the explosion everybody heard was an actual explosion of some levees. Well, in that explosion of them levees, if it was, say it did come out that a Western civilization, a person from the Western civilization said that I exploded these levees because I was trying to do whatever. But here go X amount of dollars to liberate these people, or I'm gonna pay for you to live somewhere else. If the overarching goal is for them people to take over that land and not have nothing to do with New Orleans no more and get these broke people into San Antonio, Houston, and all these other places permanently and displace a minority, that's the kind of liberation that the reason why these conspiracy theories make sense, Logic, is because people are used to the kind of liberation that Western civilization calls it. Because that makes sense to them. That's the mistrust. It's like, so why are you helping me? What do you gain from this? What are you trying to get from this? So no, the liberation that y'all talk, the true liberation, that's why y'all keep saying, well, we ain't never been free. What you talking about free is true liberation. And I'm telling you, it don't exist. It don't exist. You're looking for something that don't exist. That's why you got to describe it as a Santa Claus liberation. Some nigga flying around in a sleigh, sprinkling the shit. That's how unrealistic it is. Y'all don't even believe the shit that y'all saying. Y'all know that this shit don't happen that way. That's same as believing in Santa Claus. It ain't real.
Romanticism.
And that's why y'all 10-day contracts have been, we don't want y'all on this team no more. Go start your own fucking team. We don't want y'all on our team. I don't want the concrete nigga. I don't want the barber. I don't want the nigga that working in Army bank vaults. I don't want y'all nigga. Y'all can go somewhere else. I don't want y'all, bro. I can't be in here constantly like explaining to you, because then if the conversation goes, Corey, back to, well, we ain't never been free, then I gotta believe you don't want to understand me, bro. Because we got to start with a baseline of some kind of intelligence, and I know y'all intelligent. So when you start making arguments like that, you're actually trying to fuck up the conversation, not have one. We know we know we're free, whatever they called it. We know that. We know that shit. We know that shit right now. Logic. Let one of your friends, since you so free, let one of your friends leave some drug paraphernalia in your car and the police pull you over. Let's start talking about freedom then. You probably need to go to prison to see when I keep saying that this shit is like slavery, bro. You probably gonna have to go ahead and go to prison for me to prove that point. But go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, because I kept like a broken record saying Angola yesterday, right? And then fucking DQ bought up some shit in Texas where like they don't even pay niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But now you're saying I'm making my point out of just being naive. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. You kind of like got, I don't know what you think. You like it's like you concentrated so hard on how what I'm saying on what I'm saying being similar to what Chef is saying.
Oh yeah. Hey, is it okay if I unmute Petty? Like Petty wants to come off mute. Is that cool, Brad? I just want to
You
make
gotta,
sure.
you can liberate Fetty.
Liberate.
I ain't even know the nigga was on mute.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I don't think I was the one that muted him, but yeah, you can liberate that nigga. As soon as you liberate him, I'm gonna mute him again. I'm Western civilization around this motherfucker. Y'all don't gotta ask me for permission to talk, bro.
What's happening?
I don't know. Fetty was on mute.
Well, he left anyway, so whatever. If he comes back, I'll unmute him.
Yeah. I didn't mute the nigga in the first place. But I ain't Logic was saying something. That's the only reason. I'm doing some shit over on my computer. But what you saying, Logic? I think you naive, or Smalls think you naive.
You saying that I gotta go to jail just to know that oppression is still happening in America.
No,
and I've even tried to like simplify. I mean, that's what you implying.
No, it's not what I implied.
I would have to go to jail to. I would have to go to jail to be able to establish that it's like slavery.
No, you'd have to be somebody like you, an upstanding citizen, would have to probably go to jail in Texas. Let's say specifically Texas, and get 30 years for something maybe you didn't do, or go to jail with a white person.
You mean county?
And then finish, and then y'all both committed the same crime, and then watch this motherfucker get out in 5 years for some shit you did. You doing 30 while on a chain
or 40,
working for free. And when you leave, you probably won't hit you that this was slavery until you leave after them 30 years, and they hand you a check for $220.
Hey, Brad,
I'm not being naive to when
you
you're
using the
making
words naive. I ain't
comparison.
doing that. I said you was intelligent.
I mean, what you're describing would be kind of me being naive.
No, it's not.
To where, like, I can't.
Logic, do me a favor.
Okay.
If I was calling you naive, bro, I'd call you naive. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, like for example, I'll flip the shit back onto me. I'd probably, for everything that we talk about when it comes to Africa, if I had never been to Africa, right? Like if I had never been to Ghana, I would probably have some thoughts that I would have to live in Ghana for a year in order to be able to say the shit that I'm saying about Ghana. But the fact that I had already been, I can say what's true and what ain't true, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a specific thing to you. I don't know what it's like. Here's a funny thing. We're having conversations about Haiti and France in the 1800s. I think we all would have to literally go there on both sides of the argument in order to prove these arguments technically, because we don't know what the fuck is going on.
I got you. So what I'm saying is I have no problem like having a position that I'm having, and also agreeing that the prison industrial system and all the over policing is like slavery. I don't have no problem but I wouldn't me specifically for what I'm saying. I'm putting all of that under the umbrella of oppression. Like I remember I'm the zoom out person. I'm being ideologically consistent.
Right. But the challenge Logic that I would have been, and my question to you would be, you're using the words oppression and then you're sometimes using the word slavery. But I think when I use slavery and mass incarceration, I just look at I don't think you look at slavery as, I don't think you look at mass incarceration as rebranded slavery. That's where we probably differ. That's probably where we may differ. I don't look at it as just.
I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem embracing that. Like that's
no. You said
I'm not even too. I'm right. I mean, I'm saying that would fall under a larger theme for me. Right. Okay. For me, I would still put it under a larger theme. Right. Okay. To be more specific about it, I don't have any problem with it falling under the label of slavery.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
Then we got to
Yes.
understand it, man. Yeah,
Liberate the trees. Last thing I heard was liberate the trees.
Become Chef right on time. Fuck up the conversation. Go ahead, Chef. Do your job. I thought it was wild as hell until I realized it made no sense to me. It made no sense to me until you said the koalas. Then I understood.
And
Right.
and the fact that it made sense to y'all is exactly why I ain't making sense to y'all. Koalas and trees, and y'all don't get what I'm saying.
No, I don't get it.
Y'all playing. You
I think
Y'all
gorillas
playing.
and trees. Nigga. Gorillas and trees.
Y'all always be talking shit, hating on me, yo. The koala bear analogy.
Come on, don't do it, bro.
No,
they're not trying to accept it. Just
I'll never
I understand what
understand
you're
that.
saying.
I'll never understand.
I fully understand what you're saying. Don't try to get Chef to understand. That's the problem, really.
Chef is
trying to get Chef to understand some shit. You should never wake up with the goal of trying to make Chef understand.
I think Chef is trolling. I think there's a lot of shit that Chef trolls about. Like I really think that he's chilling and he writes shit down. He writes shit down to like fuck with people. Like I don't believe. I honestly think Chef is trolling saying he's FBA. Like I don't believe that.
No, he likes to make points. If you don't know, y'all know Chef longer than me. Chef likes to make points to see if you can defend it, and he revels in the fact that if you can't defend this fucking argument, he won. He's a sick nigga, bro. Stop thinking about Chef as though he's some kind of like he's sick. He's insane. That's why I'm participating with this somewhat and leaving just to retain my own sanity because I know he's enjoying this whole shit. This whole shit is hilarious.
Disappeared, bro.
Argument. So he can't understand for the life of him that when he first said it, he didn't receive enough pushback, and he said, "You know what? I'm about to fuck up the whole week in the Discord." And he is enjoying. Look, y'all don't realize this nigga is enjoying every single minute of this. Watching us scrambling, trying to prove that white people and what. That's why he went to white people. Y'all just ain't catch the shit. Yesterday, every time I said white yesterday, Chef told me, I ain't talking about white people. This nigga woke up this morning and said, y'all got to re-talk about white people. That's how sick he is. You got to have a good memory, bro.
Let me get the burger chicken over low man.
And this whole
said
time,
the overloaded Magnum.
Low man. Low man.
Oh, low man.
He's ordering food, bro.
Now this nigga orders Chinese food.
Y'all
Orders
niggas
goddamn.
Y'all pulling y'all hair out trying to defend this shit and go against
Put some more sauce
this
on
nigga thinking about lo mein and lemon pepper. I'm not fucking with Chef.
That nigga ain't FBA. Go to soul food restaurant, Chef. What the fuck you doing?
Man, he don't care about niggas.
You don't go get your goddamn.
Bro, if you call, he'll be FBA until them niggas say, "Hey, we need you to pay a payment." Well, guess I ain't FBA no more. What's the next group I could join? He's sick.
You don't like eat lunch yet?
I'm eating lunch right now. Look, I'm making lunch this whole time. The whole time you've been talking, I've been making lunch. That's why I've been leaving. I ain't listening to y'all no more.
You ain't know that?
Hey, DQ. You know the funny shit? I done heard Chef, when he's arguing with Fetty, go the exact opposite direction. And then now, when Fetty say, you cooking, he on the same team. Hilarious.
We cooking you,
Chef, you gotta understand, Chef is gonna go with the winning squad. If not, he's gonna be a contrarian. If not, he's gonna be willfully obtuse. It's like you gotta choose out of the three with this nigga. So yeah.
And that's why I keep pointing out. But the only way Chef is able to get away with that, when he leaves, reasoning and good common sense is supposed to reign. But when he leaves, now we gotta fight everybody else. It's like, oh well, you kind of got a point, you know. I don't really know, but I mean, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I mean, any argument, that's the video. I'm not talking about you right now, Logic. I know that might have seemed like a veiled comment.
You and Logic need to be at the focal point of the cul-de-sac and go ahead and get this out the way.
Yeah, because I think every time I say something,
let me get a regular Cinnabon.
Look, this nigga's ordering Cinnabon.
Y'all ordering food.
But no, my point with that Logic, to be specific, is any argument, and you know this, any argument, that's the whole point of discourse. That's why you got to have a Supreme Court. Any argument from you got to have court and judges and trials. Any argument from any side, no matter how asinine, with free speech can be argued. You can make a good case for any fucking thing. It don't mean that it's right, wrong, or otherwise. That's why I'm not telling y'all stupid. I'm just telling you y'all missing something. That when you're talking about the liberation and when you're talking about the human rights, that my argument can only be that there's never been any true liberation. Because if I accept the fact that that what they're doing is liberation, then y'all argument is right on its face. So anybody that's arguing with me, quote unquote, on my side or whatever side, if you believe that what they was doing was liberation in the first place, then you got to be quiet and tell Chef and Logic Chef Logic and them that they're right. I'm saying that what they giving to these people ain't liberation in the first place. And I'm gonna die. That's the hill I'm gonna die on. You can't kick me in the stomach and then stop and then start kicking me in the knee and you freed my stomach. What about my knee?
Well, I'm trying to find a way in there to describe the difference between motherfuckers getting buried or with the king. I'm not really trying to go that far back, but I'm trying to like emphasize old traditional ways where people literally had like your rights wasn't even a theme yet, right? Like people hadn't even started discussing democracy at all, right? Like how is accurately describing that being no difference from that to now. Like there's got to be another way to describe it. Like if I can agree with you that liberation is problematic, then we ain't really done that for real. Like we've been talking about liberation being problematic, and I'm saying something I definitely feel like is a better part of the kind, at least my part of things.
Would you agree that, okay, so I'm gonna give you an example, right? This is what true liberation would look like to me. True liberation, when they did the 13th Amendment, you know what it would look like? True liberation would look like all people, all men are created equal. And stop. That would be the liberation. The caveat is the self-interest. So if you're saying the morals is all men are created equal and you're abolishing slavery, that would be morally right. But if before you finish the sentence and we start celebrating, one of the black, because I picture things in my mind to make it make sense. When they did the 13th Amendment, I'm sure that motherfuckers was sitting somewhere reading it or whatever, and they started screaming, "Look what these motherfuckers did!" Yeah, it was 1,000 motherfuckers screaming, and then one motherfucker who kept reading, and that shit said, "Unless you get locked up," said, "Hey man, what the fuck is this?" Then the next day they dropped the slave codes. Hey man, you can get locked up for crossing the fucking train tracks? The fuck is this? And then they said, hey, you got sharecropping. Hey man, but what's this quota thing they keep talking about? See, like it's never morals is not like you can have good morals if you say you was getting beat up by your girlfriend every time you walked in the door.
Oh shit.
Right? Hilarious.
Let's just say some little a woman was beating the shit out of you every time you open the door.
God damn, I don't like this. I don't like where
and then on Monday she beat the shit out.
Hey, don't condone that nigga. No, don't encourage that shit.
And then the next morning, hey Mel, and then the next morning, instead of hitting your ass 10 times, she liberated you with just 8 punches.
I ain't hearing that shit. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not talking about nobody in particular. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying,
Nigga, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, So what I'm saying is, if you liberating me, like you can't, you gotta morals would be
Funny as shit out here.
Like if she just stopped kicking your ass, then that would be morally, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know
That
what
would be
you're talking
her
about,
a
Grass.
better thing. I'm
You
just
speaking a
saying.
foreign language right now.
No, I'm
No,
just saying.
I got you.
Life
I mean, I got you. Motherfuckers, humans done went to the moon, and we ain't figured that out yet. So
Oh my God.
I'm agreeing with you, right? And then I'm putting the ball back in your court and saying, where's the closest that we've come to it?
I just want to say, Brass, you're a horrible person. And then, yeah, that's a good question.
You know that?
Logic.
That nigga know that. That nigga fully aware. He ain't
You're a
shit.
horrible person. You ain't shit, Brass. Go ahead, back to the
Hey,
conversation.
listen, domestic violence is domestic violence, whether the woman beating your ass or you beating her ass. It's still
See?
This is good. He
You know what
won't
I'm saying?
stop.
If
The
you got
bullshit.
I mean, I wouldn't be shit if I said if you got to up a gun on the woman now.
Nigga, you ain't shit now. What are you
That's
talking
something
about?
else.
You ain't worth a
You know what I mean? That's
goddamn,
something else.
nigga.
But I'm a sick nigga.
I
Right?
hope this ain't recorded.
Yeah, I'm a sick nigga.
Damn. You are.
What's the closest? What'd you say? What's the closest to true liberation? I don't know.
What's the closest we've come to the 14th Amendment? That was your example.
I don't know. I can't tell you that. What you answer? You the one saying that we've been liberated. But you tell me.
I'm not saying. I keep telling you. See, that's why I'm like frustrated. I keep trying to frame what I'm saying
You trying to die on
away
the,
from what he's saying.
you keep trying to die on the heels.
Mm-hmm.
I keep trying to say I see liberation being problematic. I was ahead of you. I was the first person to say it. But it's all right.
No. Okay.
I just
cool.
said that humans is fucked up. Well, I mean the fact that they wrote it down, the fact that they wrote it down, right? Whether they adhere to it 24/7 or not, I mean to some degree would have to be an example of people coming close to it, right? So unless America is not the greatest nation ever, right? Unless our freedoms and social liberties are not like the best ever in human history, I don't have a better example than America.
He wants to know who else was. He wants to know who else was doing the sprinkling. Since y'all want to say it was sprinkling.
No, Logic. You're starting the conversation on a fallacy because you assume that.
Help me out.
All right. When you say America is the greatest nation ever, what do you mean by that?
I'm being specific because we're having a conversation about like social liberties and freedoms, the ability to participate in politics, and the economy, and all that good stuff.
All right. What the word they call a perfect society again? The E word. I'm so sorry that my brain got
egalitarian.
No, man. A utopian society. There's no utopian society. Yeah, there's no utopian society. But when you use the terminology greatest ever to describe America, you're directing it almost in that lane of a utopian society.
No, I'm actually not, because I'm actually framing my statement in a question.
Right. No, because
I'm actually asking if it is the greatest.
And against the backdrop of human history. So
yeah,
if he's
I'm asking it as a question.
Against the backdrop of human history, then you have to look at history as a whole and tell him where he's wrong.
All right. Let me
name another nation. You have to name another nation more free and liberal than the United States, and then you win.
Okay. This is not a win situation. When we as human beings first stepped out of wherever we stepped out of, our aim was always to develop a society where we could be the best of ourselves. And that society, the word for that society that we created was a utopian society. And that's the direction we always lean towards. Whether we consciously or subconsciously are aware of what we're saying, when we're defining a society as a greater society, what we're actually saying that this society is the closest to what we think is ideal. That's why I don't like when people use the word greatest to define anything, because we're constantly moving. So when they say Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever, we haven't stopped playing basketball. We haven't stopped playing basketball.
He's the
We haven't
greatest up
stopped.
to this point. He's the greatest up to this point.
And that is the fallacy of it, is that up to this point, but have we stopped moving as an individual? He's a great basketball player. Nobody can deny that. But why do we insist to crown him as the greatest? Nobody's denying that he's great. America's a great
LeBron
nation.
the GOAT. LeBron the GOAT.
But what I'm saying is that these are philosophy, Jesus, like
Philosophical fallacy.
philosophical questions. Yeah, that we have had. Descartes has talked about this, but when we look at it, is that we cannot say that because America is closest to what we deem as that beacon on the hill, you cannot just give it the crown of the greatest, because we have not finished evolving yet. But when we use those terminology, right, we always going to compare now to say Michael Jordan is the greatest, LeBron is less than Michael Jordan. When to many who watching basketball, LeBron is just as great as Michael Jordan. And persons who live in the United States would say, okay, America is the greatest democracy ever. But other person would tell you that the French is better, because many of the terms of enlightenment that we deal with today actually came out of the French society. America is the richest, no doubt about that. But black people in the 50s would tell you that the French was the greatest society. That's why they were running to France. That's why they were running to France. And when you look at French now with black people status in France, to many black people who live in France, is better than their status that they have in America. When they come to America, they're seeing it as, how do black people live here? When black people in French is more recognized as being French than black people in America is recognized as being American. That's a conversation. But you who
So
never
which
lived
one is
outside,
better than you, two P's? French or American?
there's no better, in the sense that we will say this is better than that. Because as a person who comes from a culture where we move anywhere, is that where the individual is more.
Which one do you like better, or do you just like them both equally?
Do I just like what?
I said, which one do you like better, or do you just like them both equally?
I like this one better now because I'm living in this one. I'm living in this one. But if the opportunity arises that I can move to France and live better than I live here, I would. I tell people this all the time. I don't have to be buried where I was born. I don't own no obligation to any land mass in the world. Because human being own every land mass in the world. So, but people who own affinity to a direct landmass would love to think that their landmass is the greatest. But it's not necessarily so in all cases. But ask black people in France when they come to America how they view it.
You can mute and unmute because you got server muted, but nobody ever unmuted you. So, but I give you mod privileges. You can unmute yourself if somebody forget. They don't want to hear that argument, those two P's. I mean, I get it, right? I get what you're saying, but we had an impasse, I think, until Chef say something else, and then it'll.
No, I haven't heard. You know, and I heard y'all, and I respect where y'all coming from. But we can move on if can't nobody get past it. Like I understand. It's all
You think I'm gonna accept that backhanded ass compliment you just said, bro?
No, I said I
No,
accept
you
where
just
y'all at.
no, nigga. No.
Crazy, like,
If y'all if
y'all just
can't
want to
get past-
argue.
I got past.
You said if
Just
y'all
don't
can't
accept it.
get past
Yeah,
We-
y'all
we-
can't
we-
get past. Thank you.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. If y'all just wanted to admit defeat, then we can
I
just
ain't the
move
only
on.
sick nigga in
No, I didn't mean it like that.
here. Sure you
You feel
didn't.
me?
Sure you didn't.
Chef is the
I didn't
fucking
mean it
greatest.
like that.
I gotta put on
This nigga
glasses.
Chef is
I
the
gotta
goat.
put
This
on
nigga Chef is the
glasses
goat.
called Chef Ring glasses to talk to you.
This
So
nigga
trust
Chef
me.
is the goat. I don't give a
I
fuck
know
what
what
somebody
you
say.
mean, bro. And even if you don't mean it, you do mean it. Fuck that. I ain't letting you get away with nothing because you get away with every goddamn. Hey, y'all see what they doing to what y'all think about a segue? What y'all think about what they doing to Jimmy Kimmel, bro?
Yeah, what's that all about? I haven't.
He needs to get because of
They
this
suspended that nigga, bro.
shit. He needs his own network. If he get his own network, people would support it.
On network is a touch much, bro.
No, I think he can do it. He got the money.
He might, but you gotta put some shows on that shit too.
Absolutely, he can.
You
He
can't
got the
do
network.
24 hours of them.
As many people have come up on that platform, you don't think he has connections?
Nah, because he don't even own
That's
his own name.
ridiculous.
No, listen, he doesn't own his name.
Yeah.
What's the new name gonna be called? Because he
He
can't
can
say
do
it's
whatever he want to name it, as long as he's up there and it's his shit. I mean,
I don't know. I don't. Maybe I ain't a Jimmy Kimmel fan. I don't look at him as that powerful. Maybe let me do some research real quick.
Yeah, do some research.
Yeah. I don't, because you gotta be a real tough nigga to pull off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week broadcasting.
He ain't even gotta do that. He just gotta have his show, and then he can have other shows from other people that
Yeah, there's ways to do it without running 24/7 content.
I think
he can get other night show contestants who may have similar feelings about this cursed motherfucker, and they decide to drop whoever they got.
So now, but where's this show going? Now he didn't just get suspended because of. Well, I mean, hold on. He did get suspended because of MAGA. Let's not.
Yeah, what he do?
He said we've hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That's what he said on his monologue.
They suspended him for that?
Well, he said more, but I'm saying, so here's the thing though. Let's be clear where this started at. Y'all keep talking about he can go try to start a network. The first person that said something was the FCC, the people he'd have to have that network on. The first person that said something was the FCC. So that's the people that would determine your show shit. Like the people that regulate the shows. That's FCC. The FCC said that was his remarks were some of the sickest conduct possible he's ever seen on TV. And he suggested that regulatory consequences will follow if he continues the speech. Nexstar Media Group, large owner of ABC affiliated stations, announced it'll pull Jimmy Kimmel Live from his station, saying it was offensive and insensitive. And then the Sinclair Broadcast Group, another major station owner,
demanded that Kimmel apologize to Kirk's family and make a personal donation to the family and Turning Point before allowing the show back on their stations. Right after Nexstar made that announcement, Disney and ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely. They gave no explanation, saying they're preempting the show. No, he's free.
Sounds like
He's
a fucking
liberated.
shakedown.
They emancipated his ass.
They gave him his liberation.
Yeah, they trying to.
No,
What the fuck
Smalls,
is
they
that?
didn't suspend him indefinitely. They just told him you need to spend a little bit of time with your family.
Don't donate the Turning Point? Are you fucking kidding?
That's all he did. They just liberated him. What's wrong with y'all?
That's fucking crazy.
But Bryce, you got like he can't set up a streaming service.
Yeah, I know, but you said a TV show, so I'm thinking TV. That's all. That's all I
Okay.
was saying.
No,
I thought you meant like on TV. I know that in order, like for example, and you probably saw it the way I'm seeing it too. When Disney bought ESPN, I stopped watching ESPN.
Facts.
As soon as and guess what? As soon as Disney bought Marvel, I considered stop watching Marvel because Disney, everything has to be.
I haven't seen Black Panther.
It has to protect Mickey Mouse. Everything that Disney buys, if it's a burger and it's offensive to Mickey Mouse, it can't happen, bro.
Yes, the brand.
I don't. That brand Disney is some. You talk about some brand protection. Study Disney, bro. If you want to look at the downfall of the Marvel movies, yeah,
that's why Shannon Sharp got out of there, nigga. This company is owned by Disney. They like what? To who?
What'd you say, DQ?
Get him up out of here.
Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp. I told you, DQ, when we were
saying
Shannon Sharp ain't gonna get fired for this. I said, y'all do know Disney own ESPN.
Disney own ESPN.
Oh, shit.
You talk about a motherfucker that believes in. They should do a book, and I'm sure they've already made it, on how Disney protects the brand. If that shit goes against Mickey Mouse, Black Panther ain't Black Panther no more. Watch, you can see a distinct difference between the Marvel movies before and after. You can see it. So it's completely it's different. They're just moving more and more to like censored shit. That's why they bought all the major franchises. The Star Wars shit. It's all different. You can't Jimmy Kimmel can't say no shit like that. You can't say that shit on airwaves, bro. Not on regulated airwaves.
And there are books.
If he wanted a syndicated radio show, he'd have a problem doing that because
there are books on how Disney protects their brand.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah,
yeah. Syndicated radio show that's still FCC regulated, so it wouldn't matter.
That's my man that said about the Rutgers female basketball team. Look at them nappy heads. Don right there. That nigga
got him the fuck up out of here. Yeah, got him the fuck up out of here.
That nigga Don Imus. Yeah, that's his name.
Let
me tell y'all about Don Imus.
Yo should have got his ass whooped.
Yo, if you want to study, you talk about a motherfucker that should be more powerful than the brand of it, more powerful than radio. Don Imus at the time was more powerful than radio. He thought he was until he said nappy-headed hoes.
Nappy-headed hoes.
That motherfucker was gone shortly thereafter, bro.
He still got his show.
Yeah, he did, but didn't he do it on Sirius or some shit like that?
Yeah. He moved to.
Yeah, I think Sirius falls outside of the FCC, or
I think they do as well.
They got freedoms on Sirius that are different.
So
I think that's satellite.
The
satellite. Yeah,
we can look it up, but I noticed that like even Howard Stern. Because I think they're ending the Howard Stern show, but when they were going to end him before, he was talking about going to Sirius. And the other dude, what's his name? DQ always talking about this nigga.
Rush Limbaugh?
Nah, the other one that looked like him. The Sandy Hook guy. Jones. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Nigga,
Fox got rid of Bill O'Reilly, I said shit real. I
Okay,
used
it
to watch
says
Bill O'Reilly every night, yo.
right.
That white boy was a nut.
He
Yeah,
was.
he was out of control.
So, Brass, it says, yes, the FCC regulates satellite radio through licenses and specific rules, although not to the same extent as traditional radio. Satellite radio providers such as such as Sirius XM require FCC approval to operate space and Earth stations and are subject to certain licensing and operational rules, including requirements on things like mergers and potentially certain content restrictions. So in other words, it's not to the same extent basically.
Yeah,
But
and
it is FCC regulated.
radio, you got to be careful. Most people don't know this. Where's Hits at? Hits ain't in here. In radio, I'll give you the example from New York, but maybe y'all won't understand it. Hot 97 is Emmis. Like it's all radio is essentially owned by like 7 stations. So the radio that you hear is not like each one of those is independent, whatever. They all fall under specific places. So for example, like you'll have Power 105.1 in New York and New Jersey. That's Clear Channel. But
Clear Channel, yeah.
In Philly, it'll be Power 99, but it's still Clear Channel. Like it might be clear across the country, but it's still Clear Channel. So if you piss off,
we got Clear Channel here.
Yeah, if you piss off Clear Channel, then when they start like a city might be mad, but Clear Channel will say we just won't show you no more, and that's the power. That's the threat. I remember when what's that big? I was about to say some real racist shit. What's Steve Harvey? I was about to say.
Say it.
Yo, I was about to say.
I ain't gonna say. Hey, record and say this shit.
Nah, I can't. I'm glad I caught myself because I had to get in the car with Sheffield though. No. I remember when Steve Harvey threatened to pull the Steve Harvey Morning Show because he was going up against the and I don't mean this racially, but I mean this seriously. What's the albino looking black dude that had the biggest black morning show? We look like albino if you look at him. Tom Joyner.
Yo said Tom Joyner looked like an albino.
He said albino.
Wait, y'all
that shit wild.
I didn't know who he was talking about when he said albino. Then the nigga said Tom Joyner.
Am I bugging? Hold on, let me get
yes, you bugging, bro.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
And that nigga look like Hit.
I told you he ain't shit. I told you that nigga ain't shit. He ain't shit tirade. That should be on.
Y'all say I'm wild.
Bro, hey, Hits, I'm telling you now, Hits, wherever you at, if you fall for that shit, I'm saying you an albino. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad at you, bro. I ain't even gonna be mad at you.
Yo said that little light skinned man look like an albino.
He do.
No, he don't, cause he light skinned and boy.
No, he look like an albino for real. To me,
oh my God.
Like, he don't got no eyebrows, right? I don't know, but listen, y'all missing the point. But I'm saying,
what's the point, nigga?
Yeah, right. I'm fucking up the point, man. You're right. I ain't gonna lie to you. So that was a little bit of humor thrown in there. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, he was trying to. His complaint is that the only reason that Tom Joyner was beating him in numbers was because of the group that he was in, and then the group that Steve Harvey was in didn't know that his group was being bought by Tom Joyner's group. And his group politely told Steve Harvey, shut the fuck up, talking about that other group. And he's like, I'm just talking about Tom Joyner. He said, no, when you talk about Tom Joyner, you talking about the niggas that's about to buy our corporation. And so it shows you like there's free speech, but to a limit. That's that money part where it's like, all right, yeah, you ha ha he funny.
But chill out. We trying to cut a deal here. So, you never have as much power as you think. That's the overarching point. You never have as much power as you think.
That's
Right.
Shit.
But yeah,
I think
You almost took me out with that.
I think somewhere in this,
Yeah.
and I said this earlier, I don't know if niggas is here or not, but I think somewhere in this we just talking about the byproduct of complex society.
That's what we was talking about earlier before they got on. I think you made that point when it was just me, you, and Mujasi.
What
I
was
don't
it?
think they heard that.
What was it? I ain't
Yeah,
hear
it's-
that. What was it?
Yeah, that would just basically be, what we have contentions with at the end of the day. Right. And it just happens to manifest itself in whatever particular way because of our unique situation in our environment. But those are all just byproducts of, I guess, the same way people form civilization 2 or 3, maybe 5,000 years ago. I guess somewhere in that neighborhood. But the byproducts are the theme of those byproducts is technically.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, man. Like I said, some things are uncomfortable truths that I think everybody who heard the argument will eventually come around to it, whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? That's the first time you hear something, most of the time we fight it. You feel me? So, and
No.
then liberation, I'm still tripping off of like honing in on the word liberation. Like that's kind of like so if I free you from slavery, why wouldn't that be called liberation?
Because
Like,
then it's what you did to me right after that would determine whether it be liberation or not. If you freed me from slavery, to then make me work under an apprenticeship, which is 45 hours unpaid wages and everything else that goes along with slavery, then did you free me from slavery?
So now in 2025, is we liberated yet?
No, I ain't talking about 2025. I'm talking about you skipping to now.
So everything that they've done, right, in the evolution of bringing man into where we're at now, you dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
They've done it. That's that. You know what I mean? If you didn't feel free after 1865, you know what I mean? Or whenever the 13th Amendment was passed, by 2025, can you admit that 1865 was part of you feeling free in 2025?
You notice how you got to keep saying feeling free rather than being actually free?
Because y'all didn't acknowledge actual
No, I would
freedom.
say we all. I would say you feel free. Yeah, I would say we feel it, but are we actually? Are we actually liberated?
I say that's why I said feel it, because I'm saying we're free. Y'all went to the point to say that we're not even free now.
No,
it's crazy.
But when you go from words, you keep the reason why I keep harping in on the words. I know it's irritating, but when we keep harping in on the words from free to liberated to human rights and this, that, and the other,
Because y'all won't acknowledge nothing.
Okay, no, I will say this. But one of the problems with freedom, and this is W.E.B. Du Bois, the problem of freedom after slavery is we're free in law, but bound by debt, Jim Crow, and violence.
Jeez.
So that's why I keep talking about legal freedom and true freedom. I don't think we've gotten any truth. I think we've gotten legal freedom. That's why we feel free. But if it's still bound by, just like Malcolm X, you don't stick a knife in a man's back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches and call it
Okay,
proper.
we're gonna go outside, but
So isn't white people under the same
Are you talking
economic?
about white people? I ain't doing that.
Right. No, listen. If that makes us still not free, right? Then that means that white people have never been free
I'm not
because
talking about white
they're
people.
bound by the same economic system that we are. So if it's now economics that's bounding us to not be free, then everybody in the world is under that condition. It's bound by an economic system.
No, I think freedom is a relative condition. Now go back. No, I'm just saying if so you're saying because you want to talk about white people, I don't. That's always gonna kind of mess up me and your conversation. But
because you moved it to economics.
No, I'm not moving it. When you said Western civilization, you can't. When you say that in liberation, whoever it was that was going around sprinkling, the person may have been white, but it was in the name of the structure, system, and institution they represented. It wasn't that one person. So it was there's a reason why I keep saying it. I'm keeping it on structures and systems. If you want to talk about white people, that ain't my that's a conversation for somebody else. So in an industrial age, white workers were free labor, but they lived in crowded slums, worked 12 to 16 hours in dangerous factories, and had little political voice. Karl Marx called this wage slavery. In medieval Europe, white people were serfs, tied to the land, paying lords, unable to move freely. They weren't free, even though they weren't enslaved. So you can have an illusion of like some kind of racial freedom, right? You can have a feeling of superior, like a white person. I would envision, since we're talking about white people for right now in this conversation, white people, I could see them saying in their superiority, at least I'm not black or an immigrant, but they don't even see the exploitations that's hitting them. But W.E.B. Du Bois, the psychological wage of whiteness. Poor whites were given just enough social privilege to feel free, even while being controlled by elites similar to the black people they despised. So they may feel freer because the hierarchy in race, right? They think they're amongst them other white people, but they live under the same economic, political bullshit that we live to. The systems of control. So it's not much different. It's not
And
much.
who made that argument? Who made that argument?
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Wasn't he a communist?
No.
What?
No, I don't think he was a communist. No.
You sure?
No, I don't think he was a communist. If you find somebody that says he was, then that's what they say. But I don't think he was a communist.
I'm gonna wait for the next one. I'm gonna wait for the next one.
And I don't know why you talk. Why you? Here's the funny part. I don't know what that was for. I guess to change the conversation. But Malcolm X also said, let's go to someone else. Malcolm X. If I stick a knife in your back 9 inches and only pull it out 6, that ain't progress. And that's why I keep saying the why. If you liberate me and put me right back into, it's just a different form. Didn't go nowhere.
See, that's where I'm having the issue at, because now in order to not give credit to the West and my point, y'all saying we still not even free. That's that.
I thought we weren't discussing credit. Y'all said we
y'all
weren't.
lost. Y'all lost. I'm going to take that as just y'all had to lose, yo, because y'all don't believe that we still in fucking slavery, y'all.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that we were still in slavery. I think
you said we're still not liberated.
Right. You see the word right. I know.
So if I enslave you, right, and then if I free you, I've liberated you.
You never freed me.
Let's see, you're back to the same point. So how you not saying what you saying then?
If you enslaved me, just so we're clear, if you enslaved me, and then you somehow say you're free unless you go to jail, right? If you add that component, you're free unless you go to jail. And then you immediately start over policing and over incarcerating us with slave codes. You didn't really free us. You gave us the illusion of freedom, unless we're perfect, and humans ain't perfect. If one day the law would be cross the street at 6 o'clock, the next day when you lock me up, the law would be you cross the street at 4 o'clock. You'll tell me I'm human. Like Thomas Jefferson will say all men are created equal while owning 600 slaves. Like this is the kind of shit that you want me to rationalize. Is he a good person because he wrote that all men are created equal, and then go outside and say work, nigga? When is he the liberator? And I don't know why I gotta explain this to you.
You said you're talking about systems. Now you went to a person.
Well, he's a representation of a system. Thomas Jefferson, you don't know who Thomas Jefferson is? He ain't no fucking just one human being. Thomas Jefferson, he moved a nation. He was a nation mover. Like I'm talking about when y'all say I'm talking about an abolitionist writing a paper somewhere. Like Thomas Jefferson was a member of the system and the structure, a leading member of the system and structure.
So was Wilberforce.
William, yeah, I know. Right. But
did he represent the system?
Were abolitionists? Yeah, he revolutionized the system of abolition that could not beat no system of government
inside the government.
No.
And didn't the things that he pushed?
You're getting that wrong.
The things that he pushed help curtail slavery?
Yes, he did. Yes.
And didn't he introduce bills that help curtail slavery?
Yes. Fighting style. Hey, Chef, let me explain to you something about who you're talking to right now. I know the fighting style of asking somebody a bunch of questions and getting them to say, no. Let me finish. And then proceed to keep asking me questions that I gotta say yes to, so it makes it seem like I'm saying yes to your argument. I'm not like this. I know you think that shit is real slick. It's not slick to a can of paint.
But I'm saying yes to him. So what's when you answer a question? When you ask a question, what's that called? When you ask a question that the answer is already...
I'm no longer answering no more of your questions. It's rhetorical.
You don't have to.
It's rhetorical. It's rhetorical.
Okay, rhetorical.
Yeah, it's rhetorical.
Yeah. So the answer is already implied. We already know what it is.
But when somebody's losing an argument or somebody's trying to prove a point in their argument, they'll get the other person to say a whole bunch. The 2 plus 2 plus 2. Yes, 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes, 4 plus 4 is yes. Niggas ain't never been shit. Like, it's like, I ain't doing that, bro. Like, that shit it's not, we just not, listen, me and you have already been at an impasse. We just don't agree.
You just moving around the point.
No, I'm trying to get away from you trying to get me to say yes.
No, so I won't get you to say yes no more. After you already just said that we're still not liberated. And we never was having a conversation. Because we don't even agree that human beings are free now.
You know what's funny? You do this every time. You start every sentence with liberated and end it with free. And I don't. And
they go together.
You're talking as though it's like you keep saying we don't own a Honda, but you trying to tell me you ain't driving a Tahoe. Like I'm not. My liberation.
No, bro, they go together.
No. They should go together.
No, they do.
No, they should. When you free the slaves and you write amendments, it should just say all men are created equal. Not unless
you are having a problem with definitions in English. So ask everybody else. Because I could be wrong.
Cool. Who in here thinks we are true? This is my question to the panel or whoever could talk. Who believes that we've been truly liberated? In the United States, who believes that we've been truly liberated in the United States?
And can I ask you a question? Do you believe that
you can answer the question?
Damn right.
You can probably answer it. No, just answer the question.
I am. But did that Emancipation Proclamation when they freed the slaves? You don't believe that actually?
What? Well, answer the question first, then I'll consider. But I don't know what you said.
1863
No,
Emancipation
I know when
Proclamation.
it was. I know
They
what it
freed the
was. I'm
slaves.
saying
Yeah.
I forgot my
So
original question to you because you asked me a question.
yeah, so that was our liberation, right? That was the
You
freedom. That
believe
was
that the Emancipation Proclamation
He
was
said
liberation?
yes. He said yes.
Okay, somebody else. Okay, we got his answer. That's one. Anybody else? Because he didn't. The
Go
person
ahead. I'm
who's telling
driving.
no, because the person that's telling me that doesn't know what the Emancipation Proclamation was. That's why I don't. We can have that conversation, but I don't want to start arguing over the Emancipation Proclamation. It's gonna fuck up the question.
well, it's because that's the invention of wage slavery, right? So when they
What you're saying, but the only people.
when you cutting me off though, so I can't even make the point.
Go ahead.
Like
He
30 hours.
pulled Dame Dash on you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So no, basically like when they freed the slaves, they went to Texas, and those slaves that didn't know that they were free, when they freed them, they gave them an opportunity to go or come and back to work.
Okay.
They chose to come to work. So that was the invention of wage slavery.
Okay.
So are you saying, and you brought the point up about in jail, but there are white people in jail too, right? Stay with
the Emancipation Proclamation.
You don't be listening, bro.
That goes for everybody, right?
But you don't know what the Emancipation Proclamation did. So now I'm gonna ask you a separate question.
I don't know
what did the Emancipation Proclamation actually do? You're talking to a political science major, so tell me what it did.
We about to lose our point, Brad.
Yeah, you're trying to dilute it. It freed the slaves.
No, it didn't free the slaves. See, there's a reason why specifics and argument make sense. The Emancipation Proclamation did not free all the slaves. It freed the slaves only in Confederate states that were still in rebellion. It did not free enslaved people in border states loyal to the Union, Kentucky, Maryland, Delaware, or Missouri, or Union-occupied areas of the South. And it wasn't meant as something for Black people. It was what you would call a war measure. It was to weaken the Confederacy's economy. So it wasn't morals. You just destroyed Chef's point. And when people say,
he didn't, because I wasn't talking about no emancipation.
I know. I'm just using that in arguing. Chef. I'm just using that. That's a tactic right there. But what I'm saying is, you can't. When people say things like emancipation, that's what they want you to believe until you read the whole thing. Remember the analogy of me saying, "Hey, did you read 1,000 niggas and slaves saying, yo, do you see this Emancipation Proclamation? We free." And then one person who read the entire document reads the part that is only in Confederate states still in rebellion. And then you realize that we damn sure ain't as free as we thought we was. So I wasn't trying to I ain't trying to demean you or nothing like that. But most people, when they say Emancipation Proclamation, don't even know that.
So ask somebody else about the freedom.
What's the question? What's the question?
Are we free?
No, I didn't say that. See, you keep using free.
Oh, well, you asked the way.
No, I said, has any? Well, I won't say any group. Are Black people in the United States truly liberated? Have we truly been given liberation? The true liberation, not the
bro.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to ask the question. I don't know
the true liberation.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's what I said. I don't really know.
The true death. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I say no.
Yeah,
okay.
This is sad right now.
But and then it's like he didn't. Wait, hold on. Because he didn't finish reading as well. It says that the Emancipation Proclamation, what he said, this besides those Confederate states, but it also says slavery was not completely abolished until the ratification of the 13th Amendment.
I know that.
So you disagree with that?
No, I know. I don't. No, I do disagree with that because the 13th Amendment. No, listen to me. Because the 13th Amendment, when they freed the slaves, it's unless you was locked up. It's always the caveat. if you tell me it's unless I get locked up, if you tell me I got all the human rights unless I get locked up, then cool. Then what you just expected me to say this, that you're saying
But
that
that
what you're
applies
saying.
for all
No,
citizens,
but let me finish. But
all
all the
Americans,
humans
not just African ancestry, correct?
yeah, but all human beings weren't slaves at the time. So I'm talking about black people. So the 13th Amendment, when I'm saying that, is that if you tell me that I'm free, I don't know who I'm talking to, but if you tell me that I'm free, and you tell me that I'm giving you this amendment that says you have human rights, but then you say unless you get locked up, I could almost accept it, right? Because it's like, well, fuck it, just live on the straight and narrow path. And then you create the slave codes that make just existing damn near a crime.
But that goes for all races, brother. That's all
Yeah, but
Americans.
they weren't. But
They
all
go to,
races weren't slaves to start with. All races weren't, bro. I've told you structures and systems. I have never told you. Set up
but
here
that's
and
really a
told
moot
you.
point if it doesn't
No, it's
apply
not.
to you.
It would be moot point. But what I'm saying is, what I mean by that white people part, I've told you, white people in Beverly Hills don't give a fuck about white people in the Appalachian Mountains. Of course, they would love to regulate them motherfuckers too. This is economic structures and systems and institutions. This is not. This is the. You could simplify it and call it racism, but you think wealthy conservatives
It's really classist.
look at white people in in the Appalachian Mountains or white people in poor communities as the same as them? They don't look at them as the same as them. Of course, they don't give a fuck if those people lose their rights. But at least they weren't slaves in the beginning. Like I told you, they will give you just enough and then give you wage slavery. It's all slavery. You can't tell me I can exist under whatever terms you decide and say you liberated me. Whatever time you free, you got human rights as long as you don't go to jail. And then you lock me the fuck up. That don't make sense. But if y'all can't see it, if y'all can't see that from school, it ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do in a Discord chat to make you see my point. This is something you learn in school. This is not something I'm about to teach somebody.
Are you saying that we still enslaved in 2025?
I know. See, y'all keep. I just said 5 times.
I'm asking, bro.
No. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say this.
I don't do what you do.
I've said it.
I don't do what you do. I don't twist people's words up.
I've said it 5 times. Y'all keep trying to.
I just got back
the
in.
words liberation, slavery, and freedom.
Who was y'all? I just got back in.
Oh, I don't know.
Who
It was
was
like he
y'all?
was here the whole time.
You just be saying shit sometimes. But
yeah, you're right.
He believes in systematic.
Why are you
He
talking?
believes in systematic slavery.
If I'm just saying shit, then why the hell are you talking to me?
No, I'm just saying.
No.
If
I'm just saying,
like,
if I'm just
bro,
so terrible, don't talk
you've
to
been
me.
talking for a brick, bro. Like, damn.
No, just don't talk to me then. Don't say I just be saying shit and then be asking me my opinion. That don't make sense.
Like,
you just saying
right,
shit. What do you think about
it seems like you the one that can't
that.
settle with the fact somebody think different than you. Like you the one trying to grasp with all this. But go ahead.
No, I'm not. It's just nobody else is talking. Everybody else is on mute. Matter of fact, when I leave, that's when everybody starts talking. I can leave again. Keep the
What
conversation.
You mean when you
moving.
leave? I said something when you started talking. What are you talking
I wasn't talking about you. I said people. You just think it's about you.
Okay, all right. We'll be more direct next time.
I don't have to do anything you fucking say.
Yo, y'all got this man emotional, man.
No, I don't like people to say
blackology. I knew Brass was the blackologist, man. This man said he trying to make the argument that you can't be truly liberated. Man, get the hell out of here. Chef, keep cooking these niggas. You exposing they rationale and logic or lack thereof.
Okay.
Betty, I got a question for you, Betty. How do you find where's the piece in this where you align with the argument, with Chef's argument? Like, where do you find
the emotional part? You can say simple shit, y'all. It's like the emotions don't let niggas look at shit. I've been said, if you a blackologist, it's like walking around with a dirty ass visor and you a quarterback. It's like you not seeing shit fully, and your emotions is preventing you from just admitting small shit. That's just a fact. So I mean, when he say shit, break it down. Because again, I said earlier, I see both perspectives, and what Chef is saying, breaking down the abolitionist movement in the UK and shit like that, and how they spearheaded and helped a lot of shit that we deem important now regarding, ending the slavery and all that. They did play a part in that, but it's like y'all the ones, not y'all, I don't want to say y'all, but like people like Brass and others want to play this semantics game, and and the arguments that they're making in regards to mass incarceration, and it hasn't ended, and certain things are still going on. It's like, bro, like the lengths niggas will go to just swallow a hard truth. Pause. Like you can disagree with Chef a little bit, but to act like what the nigga is saying is just wild, and you trying to burn this nigga at the stake, that's just crazy.
You think some people have taken on that position with Chef's argument?
I mean, I've been listening, bro. So I mean, it just goes to what I've been saying in regards to a lot of the responses when somebody has a different perspective that isn't something that's emotionally comforting. Is like if you black and you say certain shit, you gonna get your black card taken, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. So it look like y'all grilling Chef, and y'all are amazed that he has this opinion, and y'all can't deal with it.
So that's why I'm gonna move away from the y'all, because you're doing a lot of y'alling, and I think
whoever the response, like Chef said, the responses that I'm hearing, it ain't really in my world. That shit ain't. It ain't.
Right. I get it. And I think there's a lot of alignment with what Chef is arguing that you're finding alignment with. But I'm trying to make sure that as you clarify and try to make some distinction between those who's making the argument. I think you were in here in the morning when me and Logic and Chef started the conversation again. And I think you will agree that there was no emotional sentiment put on the table in our discourse, correct?
Not emotional, but I mean, y'all want to label white people as this thing, but like y'all don't want to give them the other side of it. Like you can't acknowledge. It's like y'all don't want to acknowledge the fact, like, yeah, and this thing, that we talking about, a lot of them played a part. And it's like, it seems like if Chef just brings that up, and like, again, he may have a sensationalized opinion altogether, but you cannot act like you can extract truth in what he's saying. You know what I mean? That's all I was saying.
So even if there's if you find some truth and I find an element of disagreement, we're having a good conversation that doesn't require us to kind of like generalize and slander our perspectives. Am I correct in saying that? Or
yeah. But again, you gotta see my perspective. I've been having certain perspectives that I thought that was very genuine perspective, and this just goes along with the shit I've been saying. So I think Chef and Logic, them being on the other side of it and seeing how they're being met with just a lot of illogical points that's mostly rooted in not just wanting to give a group of people, whatever. That's what I've been seeing in a lot of these conversations. So I'm just sitting back listening like, oh, y'all finally on the other side of this shit. And y'all see how you can be met with just a lot of just illogical talking points versus just dealing with history, not from being black, but just looking at the forest from the trees and just not being so you know what I mean? I think that's what Chef is doing. He's just looking at the forest from the trees, looking at history from a non-black person perspective, not putting himself at the forefront of the history.
The other dude seemed like he just calling
it out. Right. So
everything is black people can't get a job because of white man. Now, like that's like outdated.
Yeah. So I just want to just level the statement there, because
I'm just saying, when you're a blackologist,
who the fuck on a plane?
Seeing shit clearly. That's something I've been saying. You just don't see the world clearly in it.
Well, maybe not. It kind of depends on the perspective, Fetty. And I just want to level it, because most of the times, and I'm gonna speak personal now, I have exchanges with people on the Discord that I even disagree with, and I still attempt to find and strike a chord with them to find where there may be some element in their argument that I could try to reposition myself and just try to get some understanding. Even if there's 5 other things that I disagree with, I try to find that one. Even when I've extended myself to you, Fetty, there's some things that I know you stand on politically and socially in your position, And I'm like, yeah, young brother, he's grappling with these things, and he got a lot of good inquiry, and he's trying. But I still try to find the things that I agree with Fetty on, and it may be small and
Look,
little, but I'm
I
still
do the
gonna
same
promote
thing,
those
bro.
pieces.
I try to do the
And
same thing.
so, right, and so with that effort, I want to make sure that we're not generalizing and even kind of castrating
I
people
get
into the belief
generalized though,
that
bro.
any.
I literally
Hold
said
on,
I
let me
agree
land
with
this piece. Let me land this piece, my brother. Let me
I
land
got
this piece. I
generalized.
just want to make sure that any disagreement that we may have with Chef or Logic's position isn't just been centralized in some emotional reaction of blackology. That there's some people who disagree with them that has brought up good historical, philosophical, economical, political considerations and positions that wasn't based on some emotional blackology. And that's all I'm saying. Because I've given you the benefit of the doubt when people have attacked my little brother Fetty. And I've said, like, no, we got to consider what Fetty is saying in some positions that he's putting on the table, just to make sure that people wasn't shipping you some isolated kind of narrow perspective. So that's all I'm saying. Just extend that piece that if we disagree with Chef
Yeah,
a lot,
I got you. I literally said that. I literally said, like, if you heard my opinion yesterday, I literally was saying I see both sides. I see both perspectives, but I don't get extended that same grace. Motherfuckers say, "Oh, you said this." When I'm like, "Oh, I never said that."
I do. I
So I'm
extend that
saying,
to
like, so I'm
Alright.
saying I can come to the conclusion that people are blackologists, not necessarily you, but a person like Brass. When I clearly said yesterday, I see both perspectives, but you know what I mean. Instead of acknowledging that, he's gonna say, "Oh, you said this," and twist my words up. So no, based off those responses, yes, I can say a nigga is illogical based off his blackology, and he just saying anything.
And
So that's all
Can
I'm
I
saying.
call you? Can I call you a fanboyologist? Can I call you a fanboyologist?
Here we go. Well, what do you do in real life?
I just don't think we should get in. Once you start the name calling, then it devolves the conversation. That's why I just don't call the name.
Probably
Y'all
do
might
nothing.
disagree. Y'all might
you
disagree.
if you
Y'all
call
might
somebody
disagree with the discourse, but as soon as we start calling each other names, it devolves to something else. Hey, C-Dot, before you go, let me just say this, and then I gotta go. I'm gonna give you the floor. C-Dot, I'm speaking to C-Dot and Mujah. See, everybody can hear me, but I'm speaking to y'all. I just want to see if y'all understand where I'm coming from. So,
not a problem.
the term I guess I'm getting kind of confused as to why I keep making sure that the language is important and the words that we're using. So I'm gonna just take 3 minutes, right? Because I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing semantics when I'm saying, because I don't even think we're fleshing out these definitions. Slavery, liberation, and freedom. Mujahsi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason why I'm being precise is because while not knowing the specific definitions, I looked it up to try to make sure that with the difference between them. And now I've gotten even a starker contrast, right? So slavery, literal slavery is the legal ownership of people as property. Chattel slavery ended in 1865, but then sharecropping, convict leasing, Jim Crow redlining, mass incarceration recreated slavery's functions without the chains. So Du Bois called this wage slavery, and Michelle Alexander calls this mass incarceration the new Jim Crow. So then now let's talk about liberation. Now here's the funny thing about liberation, right? And I knew, but in the back of my mind, why I kept saying we got to be specific when we saying free, slavery, like these different words, because there's a piece to liberation that nobody in here has talked about. Liberation means deliverance from oppression into power.
Here we go. That's what I came up for. That is not the definition. That's not the definition I just read.
I'm not fucking done talking.
But you make you lying.
Hold on 1 second. Let me help you with that.
Yeah, anybody has a difference of opinion.
Yeah, let me help you with that. As soon as I'm done talking, tell me how wrong I am. Liberation means deliverance from oppression into power. Emancipation was not liberation. It ended slavery, but it didn't transfer land, wealth, or sovereignty. The civil rights wasn't the liberation. It ended legal segregation, but it kept the systemic inequality. Colonies are waving new flags were not liberated. So if you control true liberation to me, maybe not the charter definition, but true liberation to me would be controlling your destiny as a people, allowing you to get the same shit everybody can get. But if you stymie me from trying to, that's not something else. But then freedom, personal mobility within the system, voting, traveling, buying, and speaking. But freedom without liberation is a condition. So you can move, but you can only move within the parameters they say you can. So what happens is you end up being in a situation where people feel free, but you're still controlled by surveillance, debt, and laws. So this is, I'm gonna land my plane right here. So if you collapse freedom into liberation, you hide the fact that the power shifted but never disappeared. If you collapse slavery into only chains and plantations, you ignore its structure if you focus on white people. Language precision is the difference between celebrating progress and fighting for what we still don't have. Now, Mujasi and C-Dot, I know everybody gonna throw tomatoes in a second. Mujasi and C-Dot, do you understand what I'm saying right there? And if I made a mistake, tell me.
I completely understand that. I don't know how you can mount an argument against that. I completely understand that. That makes perfect sense. See that?
I understand it also. The reason I came up here is because I saw that out of all the time that y'all been talking, nobody has really defined liberation. So I know you just gave that definition. The other guy, I don't know if that was Fetty or not, but the other person was saying that that's not the definition. He probably gonna go by the colloquial definition that's in the
So we're allowed to make up our own definition.
Wikipedia or something like that. So I've looked at both definitions, and according to these definitions, neither of the definitions that you're gonna find will say that the things that we went through in America was our liberation. Like none of it would count. I mean, I'm gonna say like the freedom of slavery, sure, but we weren't free from oppression. Even after slavery, it still wasn't free from oppression. As Brad brought up, you still had to deal with Jim Crow laws, which still restricted us and which was the beginning of mass incarceration in order to continue to enslave us. So
can you tell me how in 2025 how Jim Crow affects you now?
Jim Crow is not around.
Do you have a nice career? Do you have a nice?
Bruh. Don't ask me a question and then talk over me when I'm trying to answer.
Go ahead.
You want me to answer a question, or do you want to keep talking? Was there more to it?
I would like you to answer.
Okay, Jim Crow doesn't exist in 2025.
Okay,
but that's not what we were discussing. We talked about because that's not what we were discussing. We were talking about
are we
slavery.
liberated today?
Brother, please don't keep.
Are we liberated today?
For you to not want to hear the answer. As I was saying, after slavery was not our liberation, because after slavery we were still being oppressed. And I can make several arguments of oppression of Black people today in 2025. So hopefully that would answer your question, brother. Since you're so busy trying to make an argument for goddamn how good white folks been to you.
Occurred in for you. If that wasn't when it happened, when did it happen for you? If you say that it doesn't exist anymore,
it has never happened. It has never happened. If you want to talk about real liberation, then you can go to different liberation movements in Africa.
Well, you're oppressed right now. You don't have any.
Real liberation means that
you don't have any freedom as an American citizen.
Real liberation means that you get to choose your own destiny. Real liberation means you get to choose your own destiny. You get to decide what's going on in your future. Not
we do.
Your white
you don't. You don't get up. You don't. You mentally enslaved then, because you have the ability to get up and do whatever you want. What do you do as a career?
You gotta say own a business.
Right.
Yeah, this
don't keep asking me questions, bro. Like, say what you want to say.
All these people on the panel are business owners, but yet they're oppressed. I don't get that.
What the fuck do that got to do with anything? Jewish people was business owners and they was put in fucking chambers, gas chambers. What are you talking about? Y'all be saying dumb shit that don't equate to freedom. Because you're saying stupid shit that don't equate to real freedom. You're just saying because you own a business that you not oppressed, that people can't be oppressed because they own a business. That's stupidity.
We still have all the same liberties of every American in the country, brother. We can own land, we can own our home, we can have good careers.
Wherever
what are you
they
talking
allow
about?
you to. Bro,
Who allows
hold
you
on.
to?
So now I'm gonna answer your question I'm gonna
Who allows
I'm gonna try to give you a systemic trying to
white
give you an
man?
idea. You want to talk or you want to argue or you want to get the fuck out of here? Like I hate that we
It don't
be
matter,
having
brother.
that.
You
I
act
hate
like
that we be
you act like
having
you
a
just
good
run shit. It don't matter, brother.
I
Like,
do.
just like
You know the funny
agree,
thing is, no, you know the funny
you
thing
don't
is,
have the
I do.
ability to be disagreed with. It's okay. It's ego.
No. I don't want to argue. I want to have good discourse, but you just want to argue. I don't want to argue with
brother. I disagreed and you put me on mute.
you. No, but
so
if
don't
I'm
argue.
talking, if I'm talking, you could disagree with me all day long. But if I'm talking, you can't just keep talking.
And that's a fair point. Okay, let's go. Continue.
So what? So in 2025, right? I was talking about the illusion. Now you said you can get up and do whatever you want, and the you can't really fight it from that point because when you just say that I mean I can't argue with you. I can't just get up and go do whatever I want. So, but there's a difference between freedom of motion and freedom of power. So when you say you can just go start a business, I hate when people say they business owners. It should be funny, but when you say business owner, right? Then you still got to go get that funding from an institution where we get denied 4 times as much as anybody else.
I didn't have to get any funding. So no, that's incorrect, brother. I'm a business. I'll tell you about my as a tattoo artist how I got the capital, but I just started doing tattoo. I didn't need anybody to put money behind me or anything like that. No.
That shit don't even matter. Owning a business is irrelevant to oppression. People own businesses back in
How are you
Jim Crow
oppressed
time.
in
People
2025?
own businesses.
You're
That
not
don't mean they weren't
explaining how are you
oppressed.
oppressed? How are
So
we
you
oppressed?
using an example, you using a ridiculous example of owning a business as people not being oppressed is idiocy. Wrong.
Give me an example of how people are oppressed in 2025. You're not giving me an example. Give us an example.
Slavery, black people own
2025.
businesses. What happened during what happened? So you, and just like Bruh said, bro, you just like to talk over people. You don't want to listen because now you're being made to look stupid as fuck for the dumb shit that you saying. That makes no fucking sense. You just saying dumb.
You saying you're a slave in 2025 is stupid, brother. That's crazy. You're saying you're a slave in 2025 is crazy.
Nobody said, never said it was. That's what I'm saying. You're so goofy that you keep making up scenarios that do not match the conversation.
You have the right that every American citizen has. You're not
I see that y'all not seeing eye to eye with King J, but somehow we gotta be able
No,
to
because dude is a King symbol. That nigga just saying dumb shit.
But
he's not saying anything that makes any sense. He was already oppressed the black man in 2025. If you own a business, then you shouldn't be oppressed. That's fucking stupid. That makes no rational logic sense at all. It's stupidity. It's propaganda that he has learned from his white counterpart.
You disagree with that point. Now, King J wants to say something. We understand you disagree. You feel like that's stupid, but we gotta at least let King J get what you deem as stupid out. That we
I'm
can.
gonna let him talk. I'm gonna let him get it out. I just wanted to make sure I got everything I wanted to get out before he started interrupting me. So I'm gonna mute right now.
No. Hold on, C-Dot. Don't do that, Corey. Because I was talking, and then he started talking about tattoo shops. I was doing exactly what you asking me to do, and this nigga immediately said, "No, the fuck, you don't know what you're talking about because I do tattoos." See, like you gotta hear everything, bro. He was about to get that.
I heard what you said. You said that we need money. You gotta need money for businesses to get started. I said, no, you don't. I said, I'll tell you about my career.
He was coming with an anecdote, but you, in all fairness, King J, like we're talking about as a whole, like when you're talking about things like Jim Crow, and you know, being
But that's
denied at
we're
a
in
higher rate.
2025 though.
At,
He
at
can't
a
even
higher.
stop talking while
Listen,
you talking.
no, hold on, and being denied loans for that capital that most people do need, not you, but most people do need the loan for the capital, and we're getting denied at 4 times higher, I believe is what Brad said. You know, so
Where
like,
are you? Where's your
you
demographic?
can't
Where's
come with
your
an
demographic?
anecdote to
Can I ask
rebut
a
that.
question?
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but I'm asking,
Go ahead.
where's your demographic at to where that's happening at? Because if you go to Detroit, that's all black. Everybody, all the lenders, the realtors,
Detroit is all black.
they're black.
Demographic and demographic.
They're black people. So hold on, stop.
Isn't a
Oh, this is why I was talking to you because I can't
No,
talk.
I wasn't done talking in the first place. I think y'all forgetting. Oh, wait, hold on. Are you saying I cut you off so you can't cut? What are you talking about? You cut me off in the first place. I was still talking.
You're gonna make 30,000 points. So go ahead, and then I'll just come back behind you. But go ahead. You're trying to make it seem like this all white people run everything, but it's like, what world are you living in, and where you're not surrounded by influential black people that are in positions of power? Like in my city states and where I'm from, like even if I go to Detroit, where my mother lives, it's all black. Her whole community is black people. They own their homes, they own their careers. They're influential people. They're Masons. They're OES. They work in hospitals. They're doctors. They're lawyers. There's a hospital right up the street that's black. There's a bank that's in their community that's owned by black people. I don't get it. Maybe y'all just around a bunch of poor people. But in 2025, all that Jim Crow shit don't apply no more. Like y'all need, maybe y'all just talking to talk, but I guarantee you, all of y'all are well to do.
I think those are good points that deserve.
But tell me how y'all are depressed.
He making some good points now. Where you at, C-Dot? Where you at?
He making it up.
Unmute the mics now, goddamn.
Not one single point that motherfucking weirdo done said made any fucking sense at all. He is saying propagandist, right wing talking points. That's what he is giving you. The same thing he's saying you can go find from the same. Let me keep talking. The same thing he's saying you can go and find with these fucking white supremacists and shit who make these same ridiculous ass points. Oh, black people, you're fine. Look, you have a job. Look, you can play an NBA and make money. So there's no way you could possibly think that you could be oppressed or that you're not liberated. As I explained before, liberation is not about just simply being free. It's about having the capability to determine your own destiny. That's what African liberation is about. If you go and type in Google African liberation, it'll show you the African liberationists. What are they liberating from? Western colonization. Why are they still doing that in 2025? Because the colonists never left.
Brother, that's so what you just said. I guess I'm not cutting you off. Go ahead.
All they did was put their name on everything and told everybody else, y'all need to go by what we tell you to do. And you're saying, oh, well, that's cool. Like that means you're still free because at least you can go out and get your business. So that makes you liberated. No, it is not what makes you liberated. You do not control nothing in Detroit. Nothing.
Yeah.
Your mama don't, your daddy don't, your cousin don't. You don't control shit in Detroit. Nothing.
Go ahead.
Nothing on American soil do black people control. So to make that ignorant comment just shows that some folks ain't that educated and ain't really paying attention. They just happy with
I'll respond without the insults. So, according to what you just said, the definition of liberation is the ability to provide for yourself, to control your destiny. So, I would say that owning land, owning, having a career, those things would create generational wealth so that you can have control your destiny, not only for yourself, but your family to come, your future generations. I want to own land. You understand what I'm saying? It's not 2025 where I'm saying, oh, the white man own. You can go out. If you got enough money, you can buy whatever you want, brother.
We own land and
I don't know what world you live in.
We own land in Rosewood, Florida. We own land in a whole lot of places in South Carolina, all through there. We own land in a whole lot of places,
That's
especially in
good.
the South. Guess what
Develop the
happened to us?
land. Develop
Guess
the
what
land.
happened to
Hope
us?
you got some mineral
Guess
rights,
what
and you
happened to us?
okay.
What
So how are you oppressed?
to the land?
Tell me.
What happened to the
Let me
land?
let's see
What
that.
happened
Let's
to
just
the
get an
land?
understanding.
No.
Let's get an
I
understanding,
want you to
brother.
tell
Let's not
me
talk
what
over each other
happened
because
to the land that we own. What happened to it? What happened to the land that we
what
own?
happened to it? You don't have it no more.
Why not?
Did everybody get their land taken or just yours?
I'm asking you,
That's
why
your
don't
sad
we
story, brother. See
land
that's
that
your
we
sad
weren't
story. That's why
on
you're so
before?
angry at the
If we so
government, brother.
liberated, why don't we
See
still
that
own that
everybody
land
don't
that
have
we
it.
had after slavery? What
Everybody
happened
don't
to the
have that
land?
sad story. Everybody don't have that sad story like
I
you
ain't
got.
asked you about a sad story. I asked you what happened to Tulsa, what happened to Rosewood, what
Brother,
happened
why do
to
you keep
South
talking about
Carolina.
why
Ask
you
you
keep
those
talking about
things.
stuff
What
that happened
happened to the
75
land
years ago?
that black people had? That's what I'm asking you. What happened to the land that
Brother,
we had?
it's
What happened to it?
2025. Get you some money and quit talking about the white man.
So
That,
let me
that,
ask,
that,
let me ask, let me
That's
ask
what I'm
King.
saying. That's why I call niggas like
Let
you
me
good.
ask a question.
You have nothing to back up the
racism
bullshit
does
you
not
try.
exist, brother.
Everything you
Matter of
say is
fact,
nothing
brother,
more than
brother,
rhetoric.
it's classism.
They're based on
Classism, brother.
ignorance.
It's a half
Let
and a
me
half
ask a
now,
question.
brother.
Let me ask a
Get you some
question
money, brother.
real
All
quick.
this based on is your ignorance and
Get you some
willingness
money, brother. Control
to
your own
disagree.
destiny, brother. Quit speaking the white man doing it, controlling your
That's it.
world.
I'm on mute and let you keep on with your soundball.
Well, let me ask. So, are you saying that those things, because every time I hear what you're saying, and I think it was some pertinent points in some of what you were saying, but I want to know: are you saying that those things that they keep? Because you keep saying like, well, you bringing up the past, and this is 2025. Are you saying that those things don't have no effect on 2025? Those don't have like a reverberation.
The Jim Crow laws do not
time?
have any effect on me currently during 2025. No, they do not. The Jim Crow laws are not affecting me to go out and get a job and provide for myself or my family or anything with food, clothing, or shelter. The Jim Crow laws do not stop that. Tulsa, Oklahoma being bombed and whenever that's not stopping us today from going out and doing what you want to do and provide for your family. So if you sit here and saying in 2025 that the white man runs shit, then you what are you really saying? That white power is supreme? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in white supremacy, and I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it's classism. So just imagine this: a utopia where black people controlled everything around the world. You don't think it's going to be a part of that where there's poor people at the bottom? Some sort of class. It's always been like that. So it's just like maybe they're just like they're living in this white and black racist slavery mindset. Like I don't understand.
Who the fuck is this so I can block you? Fuck
Well,
all
well,
you. Christ.
Thank
Who
you.
the fuck
Thank
is this?
you. You know he
Before we
You
get
know
to
what
that,
I'm saying?
Fuck
You
block
ain't
you.
you
I
I
want
ain't
to
gonna
read
be nice
something.
like Peter.
I'm
I
gonna
ain't
read.
said.
Fuck this
I'm gonna
bitch
do some
nigga so
reading.
I can block him.
just difference of
Chef,
opinion, bro. They gonna
Chef.
snipe you in the neck 100 yards away.
Yeah, you
You
too,
said
Fetty.
some shit
Fetty,
else.
No, it's
you on
not
the list
100%
too.
like
You on the
that.
list too,
Don't
Fetty.
paint the broad brush, Fetty. It's not 100% like that. So I'm intolerant on some things, and other people are intolerant on other things. We all got
Nah, I'm telling you, that
a line.
blackology shit real, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro.
Well,
It sound like
blackology is real.
we talking. We on the plantation right now. The way y'all talking.
That's what
It's
I'm
as real
saying.
as symbolism. It's as real as tap dancing for white folks. That's what it is.
It happened in 1940.
I want to agree. So I want to just point out, like, I kind of I disagree with most of what he said, but I do agree. The most pertinent point that he made, I do agree with, and that's the fact that in 2025, the real fight is classism.
Exactly.
Right.
That's it.
I think that's the real fight. So I agree with that part of it, but I think you still got a long way to convince me on the other shit. You know what I mean? But y'all go ahead. You want to say something else? I think
Hey, I'm gonna say this. Just to rebut what you were saying as far as classism goes. We always had to worry about being at the bottom. We still in 2025 are at the bottom of classism in America. So when we sit here and talk about classism, white folks, as they have previously, ain't studying none of that shit. The reason they ain't studying none of that shit is because their class is always gonna be has always been, and always will be put in front of us. So as long as they ain't got to sit at the bottom with us, they perfectly fine. They don't mind being
I think
at a
that's the
silver
trick,
class
though.
for other white folks in America.
Yeah, I think that's true. What you said, that as long as
History
white
shows
folks ain't, the white man say, as long as I ain't black, I'm winning.
exactly. History has shown us this,
But
not only back in the 1800s, but
that's
it's
a
close to the
trick.
1960s.
Okay, fine, and he got a little notch. He got a notch over us, right? But that's the whole trick. That's what keeps white people complacent, and that's what keeps the upper echelons, the 1%, the 10%. That's what keep those folks on top. You see what I'm saying? So I think that part, what you're saying, is the actual trick, and that's the part. So when we don't, if we don't actually kind of recognize that part, I don't think it's nothing never we gonna be able to do about where our status.
But that ain't the beginning part, though. That's what I'm saying. Like we worried about classism when black people in this country ain't made it to that point. This country itself,
What you mean we ain't made it to that point?
and the government has not made it to the point to where they finna get rid of racism in order to replace it with classism. They're not gonna do it. White folks, I've already told you,
We're not saying we want to
care
eliminate
about
the
being
classes.
behind.
Bro, we create
echelon.
social
They just
hierarchy
want to
and
make sure they're
classification in our
above.
own right.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's not. I mean, it's there in society. Period. There is classism, right? But see, let me explain. Classism. When you tackle classism, it puts people when you close the economic wealth gap, right? When you close it up somewhat, that allows people to be in a better position to tackle more serious issues or issues that's pertinent to each specific group. If you ain't got the time or the money, then we gonna end up in the same place. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think we white people and black people are being fooled. But we weren't about racism. When, listen, if I can have enough time and means, right, I can create my own conditions. I have more control over my circumstances. You see what I'm saying? And with that, like the means don't just mean money, right? The means also meaning education too. So I need the money so I can get the education so I can buy the time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That sounds very utopian, but it's
No, that's
not
not
the
utopian.
reality
That's
of
not gonna
today. It's
solve
not
our
the
problem.
history of this country. It's not the history of white people or Europeans.
You
They've
made sense to me,
never,
Corey. That was very logical.
they've never been in the situation where they said,
Didn't
you know
life
what,
fall out
we're gonna
the
give
didn't
black
life
people,
fall out the
we're gonna
history
give
of
black
human beings?
people equality and actually give them money. We're gonna let them equal themselves to us financially. So then we can compete on the whole racial thing later on. That's never been the case. So why do we
So the
think that it's
classism is not about race.
it
When
just
you're talking about
changed, and now all of a sudden white folks is willing to let us in the line with them, and now we ain't gonna focus on classism no more. That's not the way. We're just gonna attack racism, and we're gonna get that washed up because now we're gonna focus on classism. That's not the reality. It's just not the reality. It's never been the reality. I don't understand why y'all think
it's our
that's
reality,
going
brother. It
to
ain't
be the reality.
It ain't yours.
Give me a case where that has been the reality in this
Everybody's
country.
reality is different, brother.
Any country. Give me a case where it's been where Europeans have made that decision. We're gonna make sure that we financially qualify ourselves. We're gonna put ourselves right next to the black people, and that's how we're gonna move forward. Show me one example of that happening anywhere in the world.
I don't think that was what I was saying. That wasn't what I was saying. Say that.
Okay, so that's my point.
I'm not
How
talking
does
about
this classism thing?
white people.
How does this classism thing become a forefront in order for us to go after it?
Maybe somebody can explain it a little bit better, but I that's not what I was talking about. What I was.
No, you explained it very well. You broke it down. You explained. He just got something against white people.
Yeah. So, and I'm just.
I got something against you being on white people's dick. That's all. I don't have nothing against white people. I got something against you always want to go against somebody, and you the talking like black politics and all this other bullshit, all this other Sambo ass talking points. I have a problem with that. I don't have an issue with white people at all. I don't have a hate for white people. None of that type of shit. I have a problem when black people get up here and start fucking
we're not oppressed by white people like you are.
I got a problem with I'm not saying that racism. You gotta separate.
Black people based on their ignorant ass perception of black people. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so see that I wasn't saying that racism don't exist. I think that was King J that said that.
Yeah, not you. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about King J. He know who I'm talking about. He know I was talking about him. I wasn't talking about you. I understand that you was trying to get an understanding of what the conversation was. But at the same time, like I said, what makes me automatically pissed off is when you get black people that come up on panels and shit, start making up nicknames for black people who are positive towards other black people, or have positive intentions towards other black people, and they want to come up and start making it, oh, that's a psychologist, and they don't think right, and all this other old goofy ass Sambo shit. I can't rock with that. I'm not going to accept that.
How do we define tyranny while we looking up definitions?
Ain't nothing wrong with
How do we define tyranny at all?
Even his verbiage is.
Yeah, okay, so how do we define tyranny while we define the word? Is that important to like what we talking about?
No.
Tyranny?
But you would.
It can happen in a capitalistic system, but we ain't made it to that part yet. I'm just what the brother explained earlier was about how he working and like we have all the same liberties as every other American in this country, brother. We can work and have what we want in this country, but it's called empowerment. That's not Sambo. Telling other black people, look, you're not systematically oppressed. A white man ain't got you down like that. That's empowerment. So it's the opposite of what you're saying. We're oppressed. The white man got his feet on my neck. I can't have nothing in 2025.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. That's that right wing talking point bullshit. Nobody said that. Nobody. You keep coming up here with white folks talking points, and when somebody tell you that you kicking white folks talking points, you want to move the goalposts. That's what I'm talking about. You are the definition of what I call Sambo. When I be calling people Sambos, it's niggas like
a black person saying that we can have something, a white person talking point. Saying that we can have all the same liberties that these white people got is a white person talking point? That's crazy.
That ain't what your weird ass just got to saying. And you keep moving the goalposts every time you make another comment. You want to make something further incendiary about black people, while at the same time trying to sit up here and act like you empowering somebody. You not. Okay. You ain't empowering shit. You're lying.
I'm not gonna tell my brothers and sisters that we are oppressed and that we can't have the same liberties that any other American can have. That's crazy.
You gonna tell it, but you gonna tell them that they've never been oppressed. You gonna tell them that they was actually liberated after slavery.
I would never start my history in slavery. That's some shit some white people would do.
Man.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even
tell them that they was liberated after slavery, which is a goddamn lie.
I don't have a problem with
it's a lie. Black people were not liberated after slavery. It's a lie.
We're still oppressed. Okay, in 2025. Okay.
We are still oppressed.
Okay.
You see, one of the things I have a problem with, Corey,
There's
is that
always
we're
going to be
talking
there's
about.
always going to be an oppressor in the
Can
system.
I speak now, please?
Let's Stu Peas run. Let's Stu
Give me
Peas
a
run
chance
it
to
down
talk.
real quick. Go ahead, Stu Peas.
Give me a chance to talk. Because within the white system, black people ownership is determined by the protection of the white system. The house you own, you're allowed to own the house under a white system. No, because we own the house, we forget the system that we're under and believe that we now have a level of permanency, that our strides that we have made are permanent and cannot be taken away. But we're not looking at the system, what is happening now. How the Supreme Court is owned by an individual who wants to fire somebody, a black woman at the federal bank. He wants to fire her. Some court said no one can't fire her, and he pushed the matter up to the Supreme Court. Are we liberated then? Are we liberated? And nobody can say he doesn't want to fire her based on the color of her skin. Because that's the only reason why he wants to fire her. Because they're making up all kind of shit that say she's this, she's that, and none of that has been proven in law. She went to court and beat those cases. But black people here will tell you today that no, we are not oppressed. That we own what we own because of our own two hardworking hands, and not realizing that when you drive through Detroit that he mentioned earlier, the amount of abandoned houses that were owned by black people that totally lost their value because we make strides, we forget where we are. No, man, we're not real. We're not real. Anybody who say it might not look the same way as we think it would look 100 years ago, but it is still there. And some people have made achievement in spite of the oppression. And we appreciate those people. Don't feel that the achievement mean anything, because all of those achievements are protected by same white people and white people law, and they can change their mind anytime. We're living in a white system because who in charge of the system is white people. But you can go ahead.
And so what I'm getting out of what you're saying, it puts me in the mind of what you're saying is, right, don't get complacent, because the shit you got can be taken away if you forget about the shit that happened, right? The freedoms that the little freedoms that we do deserve, that we do got, and we do deserve, right? Those can be taken away. So don't never put your guard down, and always do like the Jewish people say, never forget. So never again. Never forget. Never again. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you cleaned that up, Corey, because I was okay. I feel that now. Yeah, sure.
But these Negroes forgetting. These Negroes who come in here now and talking all of this bullshit, forgetting and think that whatever we have now is permanent. It's a continuous fight. We can never stop fighting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But these Negroes come in here and talk about, I have a business, and your business don't mean shit. It don't mean shit.
You gotta start in your household. It do. It mean everything to my family. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That is why
absolutely, it means something to you. Absolutely, it means to you and your family. Absolutely. But what he's saying is, don't let that blind you. Don't be I guess with like the horses. I guess when they say the one horse got a block of sugar. The one horse get a block of sugar, but he don't realize that all the other horses didn't get a block of sugar.
That's the right wing thought process. He don't give a fuck about nobody else. They taught to not give a fuck about nobody else, but then they'll come on platforms where you talk where you talking about community.
I'll be the black
boy. Little shit. They'll even throw in little shit that got to do with community when they really only concerned about themselves.
I'll be the black
so I don't know why they get on think think tank type
Oh, be the black
platform
bootleg.
at all.
I
Because
noticed
they
that most black people
don't,
on the
they
internet
don't care
actually
about
don't do
black
shit
people
for
as
black
a
people in
whole.
real life. That's what I'm realizing.
I'm gonna
They
change
only
my
love
name
black
to that. I'm gonna
They
change
don't
my
do
name to
shit
that.
in real
Black
life.
bootleg.
Let me
Platform.
add something to that. Let me add something to that. These Negroes that come in here, many of these Negroes that come in here, believe that the white community is going to protect them. That's what they believe. They believe that the white community is going to protect them. You have to build up your own community because that's where the protection is going to come from. Not from white people. Not from these laws that you put your faith in. Because it don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. It is not applied the same for black people as it is applied for white people. And we have seen that through over-policing and mass incarceration. That the laws don't
Because I disagree with that, brother. Because the police are just blue. They're not no white or black. It's blue. I done got my ass beat by black police. I done had like they don't. Nah.
This dude,
the police are blue. They're not black or white, brother. So I don't want to hear this white police shit.
Dude, don't ever believe that. Not because you see a black man in police uniform, don't think that he's not been brainwashed into a white system. That he's not been brainwashed into a
Most of the time,
It sound like you say anybody that's doing something good.
they be trying to impress the other white cop. That's the majority of the time that I see that. You know what I mean?
Listen, Corey. You know why we run out to white land? For safety and protection as black people. Because the police force is protecting that part of the country. We're going to their community for their protection. We need to work in our community that we don't need to run from our community for protection. But many of us here feel that in Jamaica, they say the higher monkey climb, the more he expose himself. Climb, monkey, climb. And I'm not calling monkey as a racial figure. I'm just using it that the higher you go up in the tree, the more you don't have the foliage to protect you. So when you go up there and nobody else look like you, don't be too reliant on them to protect you. But we're going on this thing and we're talking that we're liberated and we're free. And it's 1960. It's 1960. Most black people. How your oppressors liberate you, though? That's the real question that people gotta ask. How can your oppressor liberate you? How? How is that possible for your oppressor to liberate you? Only you can liberate you. Only black people can liberate black people. Point blank up here. I'm not giving no damn credit to no fucking American government. Because they ain't liberate shit. They did shit that was best for their own interest. Point blank and period. Not gonna sit up here and give them credit for all the hard ass work and shit that we had to go through as black people. Look at Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman didn't wait on white folks to liberate her. She liberated herself. Then she went back and liberated other black people. Why? Because she knew that's what needed to be done. That's the same thing that goes for black people in 2025. If black people don't start liberating black people, then black people can't claim liberation.
Yeah, what is your steps to doing that? Through economics or military? Economics. But you said that was white people shit, getting money. Okay.
What? You just be saying shit. That's what I'm saying. Like people like you just love to just say random. Nobody said nothing about finances with white people. Never did I say that. Who else heard me say something that stupid?
Yeah.
Anybody else up here hear me say that?
Or you just want to argue with me?
I'm mute now.
You just saying stupid shit, bro. It don't make sense. And then you just throw it out there in the wind. You just throwing random stupid shit out there in the wind.
It don't make sense. No, you screaming and you're hollering like you're loud and wrong. Yeah.
How did America liberate you?
You believe that white people are running shit and oppressing black people in 2025?
How did America liberate you?
I liberated myself through economics. I liberated myself through economics.
Okay, so before you liberated yourself, you were oppressed?
No, you don't want to claim an oppression,
So what? Okay, so what happened? When did you liberate yourself? When you was born?
brother. I've never listen. I don't believe in this white people shit that you do or this systematic
You
oppression. That's you. That's your
refusing to
belief.
answer this damn question though,
That's
because
your
you keep
belief, not
wanting to
me.
dance around it because you don't put your foot in your damn mouth.
I don't believe in that shit. You do.
When did you liberate yourself?
I was born liberated, brother. Out the womb came out. I had a destiny.
You liberated yourself out the womb?
My destiny. Well, I was born free, brother. I wasn't born a slave. I was born free. You was born a slave?
Who liberated you?
Damn.
Who liberated you?
I never had a liberator. What are you talking about? Do you know what liberation means?
So
that means
how are you liberated? If nobody ever liberated you in the past and you were just born free, how did that happen, my nigga? How did that happen?
That's your talking point that black people in America are slaves in 2025. That's your talking point.
I never see you keep moving. You see what I'm saying?
That's
you
your
too
talking
naive
point, that
and you
we're
realize
slaves
that
in
you stuck your
2025,
fucking
brother.
foot in your mouth, so you
That's
keep
your
making up
talking
random
point,
nonsense.
brother.
I'm asking your weird ass, how
2025,
are
you're
you
slaves.
liberated today?
Systematic
Who
slavery. I
liberated
don't
you
believe in it,
today?
brother. I was born free.
And ask you what you believe in. I asked you, how
I never,
you
brother.
liberated? Which
Brother,
is the
that's
subject of this conversation. Liberation.
Yeah, liberation. And you believe that in 2025, black people are still slaves.
Liberated.
Systematically enslaved. I don't believe in that, brother.
I'm going on mute. I can't help stupid people. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all had these goofy ass niggas up here trying to talk like they smart and shit, and they be dumb as fuck.
You think
Don't know what
aggressively
they
talking
just
loud
saying
makes you smart
stupid
and
shit.
loud, brother? No, brother.
But
He's intelligent. I'm gonna mute. I'm mute. Y'all can keep talking to this goofy nigga.
Nah, it's all good.
So, brother Jay, you say there is no systemic racism in 2025. Is that
It don't affect me. It's not affecting me in any type of way, brother. I go out here. What do you know what determines my wealth? Me as an entrepreneur, me getting up every day determines. Am I promoting myself? Am I marketing myself? That determines how much wealth that I make. And no white
but King J,
you, but you're not saying it don't exist.
Right.
There's no
Right. That was my exact question, Corey. That was my question. Like, are you saying it doesn't exist, or are you saying that it just doesn't affect you, bro?
If it doesn't affect me, it doesn't exist to me. Here, I don't. You know.
But what if it affects? What if it affects me though?
Honest answer. I'm trying to have an honest conversation with you. Like,
yeah. What if it affects me, King J?
What we're trying to determine is whether you acknowledge that there is systemic racism, but that systemic racism just doesn't affect me, or at least you don't believe it affects you, right? Is that what you're saying, or are you just saying systemic racism just don't exist?
Don't exist. Yeah, I'm trying to get that too, Corey. What are we saying here?
In all systems, brother, it's gonna be somebody at the top and it's gonna be somebody at the bottom, brother. I'm not at the bottom of the totem pole, brother. It's white people that's below me that's having more hard times in life than me, brother. In the same system that I'm in, brother. So it's not no race. So that's the brothers talking about this racist white people shit. I don't feel like.
I didn't ask you about white people.
I'm a big believer on classism. I'm a big believer.
I'm to the point where you're just not gonna have an honest conversation.
Yeah, because I don't believe in racism like that. Whereas it's white people in power and control. It's more of a classism thing, and it's not a white person at the top. Do you think these people
I've acknowledged the classism, right? But at least can you either you can say to me that no, it don't exist across the board, or it actually does. Nothing.
I'm here. Fuck up for a second.
That brother
Yeah,
has
he
been
asked you a
talking
question
now.
though.
I'm here. It's not. There's nothing to talk about really. I mean,
Oh,
like,
just don't want to respond. Okay, I ain't mad with you.
Because
the
he's
brother,
starting to realize
he's made
he realizing all that
his point.
propaganda.
He's made his point, and then if you want to elaborate on, I'm just trying to figure out how if you're saying that racism, systematic white people are in control of this system.
I didn't say white people. I
The
just
brother
said
C-Dot did.
systemic
The brother C-Dot.
racism.
We're having two different
Systemic
arguments with two
racism.
different people. This is C-Dot's argument.
I'm talking about
Talking to you
C-Dot.
though
That
right
man
now.
talking to you, bro.
You
He
ain't
talking
talking
to
to
you, not
C-Dot
C-Dot.
right now. I guess. I mean, that should be the easiest part. That part jammed you up. Like that's all we had to ask. You know, I thought we was gonna have I was thinking we was gonna go into a nuanced conversation here, but you jammed up. You jammed up on the foundational question.
A black man coming here, he doesn't believe this is Texas. See that?
Yeah, I mean,
I just haven't had the same experience in that you guys have had, I guess.
well, here's the thing, King J. Here's the thing, King
I
J.
never told you my experience. I never said anything about anybody's experience.
Right.
You're talking to
Yeah.
me right now. I know you done had a lot of conversations with all the different people, right? But like right now, you're talking to me. So I never said it what my experience was. I'm just asking a fundamental question so that we can have a conversation.
Okay, let's go. All right, let's go.
And not only that, King J, but you're speaking about the collective, and you're speaking on it in an individual basis. Okay, you didn't have that experience, but we're speaking about the collective. So you understand why people are
Can
kind of.
the collective be my community that I'm around, or the people that I live? Could that be also like what I
Yeah,
see?
that could be. That could be. So do you think that?
So if they're all
Yeah,
doctors, if there's a hospital, if there's a bank behind me, that they all like, I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, even within that,
like I don't see where
Okay, well,
I don't see where they might go into the bank. No, hold on, listen. Let me talk. You asked me a question. I'm giving you. I'm trying to talk.
Oh, now you're getting talkative. Go ahead now.
I can't. I'll talk to
Yeah, because
I just don't
you've
see
already
where
answered it.
I just don't see where if I go into the bank to get a loan and it's another black person and my loan gets approved. So you may go to a bank with a white person and they deny you. So that's maybe where you get that feeling from. So
But
maybe
here's
it's
the
your
thing, though.
demographic. Maybe it's just your
King J, I
demographic
got
in
your
the
answer.
country.
I got your answer. I got your answer.
Like, I don't know if you hang around a lot of people.
Let's keep it moving because I got another question. Let's keep it moving. So here's the thing. So you said within your community. Now within your community, have you individually, since you're speaking individually, have you individually gone? You're speaking individually about the collective. Have you gone around and asked each one of those successful people, hey, did you encounter any struggles? Did you come across any sort of what were the barriers that you overcame to get to where have you done that to everyone in that community?
I'm sure they have had to overcome certain obstacles and things to get to where they are in life.
So then that means the shit exists, bro. It didn't exist. It just means you got over it.
It doesn't matter. Everybody has to go through something to get to where they're going. It doesn't mean that they experience systematic racism.
Right. So that's what they're saying, bro.
It doesn't mean there was a white man holding
Well,
back.
not everybody has to go through systemic racism to make it.
Not everyone goes through. Not everyone goes through it. But, and also, here's the thing, though. You just admitted that you kept saying it don't exist, but then you just admitted that it exists, but some niggas can get past it. That's all that they were saying to you, bro.
His answer is good enough. He just don't.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah.
The answer is
let me help. Let me help. I'm telling y'all, dude has been radicalized by right-wing propaganda.
Oh my
That's why
God.
he's saying this ridiculous shit
Oh my
and don't know how to explain it.
Oh
I'm
my
trying to
God.
tell
My
y'all.
nigga
When
died. I'm going
somebody
on mute.
says, I'm being
Yeah,
real,
ain't
when
doing a good
somebody
job of
says
explaining.
wild and ridiculous things like what this dude is saying, and then has no evidence of anything other than
He
his
come with
own
anecdote. He
circumstances.
come with
And then what he
anecdotal. He
anecdotal,
got a lot of
everything is
anecdotal
anecdotal.
evidence.
That's all right-wing propaganda bullshit. Because they all do the same thing, especially black
Brother,
niggas.
I ain't gonna lie,
They all
brother.
do the
I thought
same
that,
shit. They'll
I
tell
ain't
you
gonna
that
lie.
I don't
people
know
are
that
okay now.
I'd attribute it to right wing
They'll
propaganda.
say
They
black
usually have.
people.
They're usually able to articulate their arguments a little bit better.
It's
No,
not.
they
It's not.
not.
It's not.
No, they
It's not an
can't. They
argument.
can never
Yeah,
articulate their
It's
arguments
not a.
because they never have
It's
good
not.
arguments. Their
It's not an
arguments are
argument.
always packed with propaganda and shit that they've been
Right.
told. That's why he will get up here and say, "Well, no, systemic racism doesn't exist." But then turn
Yeah.
around when you give them examples, he get, "Oh, well, I've just never seen it."
That's your
Oh,
personal.
nigga, you know it
That's your
exists.
personal. That's your personal
You know,
experience.
you ain't.
Everybody doesn't have that
It ain't
experience,
got nothing to
brother.
do with personal experience, dude. It got something
That's
to
the
do with actually.
thing.
It got something to do with actually paying attention
Dude,
to the majority of your
brother,
population of black people instead of
brother.
just the people that's
Right.
in your neighborhood. Because that's the only
Right.
people who understand is what's going on in your neighborhood. Nigga, you live in the suburbs. So how you gonna sit up here and compare yourself to everybody else that might be living in ghettos and fucking subpar living conditions? You can't because you never lived that. So all you
Yeah.
have to go off of is your weak ass experiences. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ain't been
Yeah.
through
And
shit.
KJ,
So therefore, because
KJ,
you haven't been through anything, then you'll make the argument that ain't nobody having to go through
Who?
nothing. And that's
I know,
ridiculous. It's
but why does?
and
But why is it everything that you
I
go
made
through
the
has to
same
be
mistake
systematic
yesterday.
racism? That's what's crazy.
I made that same mistake though yesterday, King J and C Dot, because I was mentioning the Workforce Investment Act, right? And I was saying how, you know, hey, there's no barriers for anybody. That's a federal grant. Anybody can just go out there and get the. And niggas ate me up on that shit, but that's just not true. It's not just across the board. It's just gonna be easy for everybody, bro. Like the grant exists.
Can I say something real quick? Just
Yeah, go
something.
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like
Go
it's
ahead.
just pertinent, and it's in
Go ahead.
regards to knowledge, information being available, and having accessibility to the information. Right. I'll give you an example. Right. I'll give you an
Go ahead.
example. Right. University of Illinois. Right. Where I'm at right now. Right. I applied for a media grant. Right. It's a match grant. Right. So $6,000 grant. That meant that the business had to pay $3,000 and that U of I would match the other $3,000. They did that, right? So long story short is the woman when I came to get the grant, when they invoiced me, she said, "Thank God you applied for this grant," right? She said, because this grant has been sitting here for the last 2-3 years. If you didn't apply for it this year, we would have had to give it back, right? Money's just sitting there. I'm like, oh, like wow, they're thanking me. These white people were coming to get this money, right? That just has been sitting there for black people to come get, right? We got it's a whole block where I'm from, First Street, where barbers are supposed to come. The whole block is just set aside for black people businesses. Do you think that they know about it? No. So it's not, I think that if more of the people that you're saying that are systematically oppressed will have more access to information, and just the know-how in the 2025, because it's a computer literate world. If you're not computer savvy, you may be a little behind, but it's all type of grants, $50,000. If you poor right now, it's because you want to be, or you just don't have the knowledge to get the money. So systematic, I just say you just
This
lack
is
of
called not
knowledge.
understanding economics, bro. How can you say something so ridiculous? You don't know what capitalism is.
Ridiculous.
You have no clue of how economics work for you to make a comment like that. For you to say, well, if you broke right now, then you just want to be broke. That is one of the.
Yeah.
This is how
Because
I
it's too
know
much
that
money. It's too much
everything that you're
free money
spewing
out
is
there
propaganda
to get.
because you don't understand economics and you don't
It's just
understand
lack of
capitalism.
knowledge, brother.
Capitalism does not allow everybody to not be poor. Somebody got to be poor in
Well,
capitalism,
I
right?
already said that. I've been said that. What does
So
capitalism do with
how are
racism?
you
What does capitalism
contradicting
have to do with
yourself then?
racism?
So how
What
are
does
you
capitalism have to
contradicting
do with
yourself by
racism?
saying if you're poor, it's by choice?
I said that's not what I said. I said either
You just
that
said.
or are you gonna let me spinning? I said or lack of accessibility to the information to get the money. Because there's money that's sitting out there waiting for you for free. Did you not hear that point? That when I said that the
Grants
university or
have
did you not
limits.
hear that point where I said this
Grants
established
have
institute
limits.
has money for black
Grants
people
have
that's
limits.
giving it away for
Everybody
free.
can't go get a free grant. They
Why can't
have
they? They don't have the skill
limits.
set. They don't have the skill set. That
Oh
ain't
my
got to do with
God.
being black.
See, now this is being done.
All
Now he's
right.
being
The
done.
skill set.
Because I'm
See,
explaining to
when we
you
have a conversation
that
outside of black and
grants
white, then you
have
realize how
Hey,
dumb
hey,
you sound.
limits.
one mic, bro.
What am I? What am? What?
Grants
Yeah. What am
have
I listening
limits.
to?
Everybody cannot go out and just get a free grant from the government. That's not how it works. So for you to say that and make it like, oh, well, it's
According to your
if you
skill
broke,
set,
just go get a grant. That's
yeah,
not how it works.
it
All right,
is.
let's move forward, bro. Y'all just yelling. Y'all just talking over each other. Can't even really get a good grasp of what y'all talking about. I'm listening on YouTube. I was busy. But what's funny is me and Chef was actually talking about something before this all started, and Chef literally said, whatever we was talking about is over with, and I told him it wasn't, and I can't even remember what the hell we was talking about. But that's fine. We just sometimes it's just agree to disagree, bro. We just agree to disagree on that particular point.
I think they were still
That was talking
arguing
about
over
liberation, though. That was
whether
y'all
we was
argument.
free. Yeah, and when you said that we didn't have true liberation and freedom, I think they continued that that discussion, and it just
Right.
went off the rails.
I just think when we say the true liberation is just, I agree with that we can get up and do what we want, but when you add the caveat of within limits set by others or controlled by others, you may be freer than before, but you may be more liberated than before. But true liberation, I don't think we've seen that yet. Even with that caveat of the amendment. Even emancipation, but everything of it has some kind of conditions. So my word would be more control. I think me and Logic was looking for a better word. I think what I'm describing, while y'all were talking about liberation, freedom, and slavery, I think what I'm describing is it's still just a certain level of control uniquely to us that we face. And I'm more comfortable with control. I think I'll even move because I don't think we'll get anywhere when it comes to the liberation conversation. I will give you credit for one thing, Chef. If you could somehow write down shit like this, these are good talking points, right? Whether we agree to disagree. But I've noticed that when we've kept the discourse civil, it's been really good discourse. Where it gets out of control is when we all, not just anybody in particular, all, including me, we get probably a little bit too passionate, a little bit too personal. And then on top of that, the kind of conversations that you have, I think are better, or topics that you have are better for panels where it's more than just 4 or 5 people talking, because it's really just a circular argument unless we're going to get new opinions at this point. Because I know I've said my talking points, you said your talking points. Me, you, Logic, Mujasi, C-Dot, appreciate you. King J, appreciate you. Fetty, appreciate you. But some of these, it gets a little circular because we're just listening to about 5 worldviews on a topic, on a worldly topic per se.
Cuban brought the most diverse opinion on it, and y'all didn't listen. And
No,
I
I
think
tried to, but he started talking about the freedom of the trees. And I hate to say it, listen to me, and I'll be honest with you. Maybe y'all won't. I'll be honest. As soon as he said freedom of the trees after I was talking, I just checked out because I didn't want, sometimes in these arguments, you say we had these conversations and you'll be making a point, right? And then somebody will come behind it with their point. but it'll begin to it'll fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It'll begin to kind of sound like your point. That's why sometimes when I'm giving my point, I just want to finish my shit and get out so that y'all can talk about it. He started talking about trees after I did it, so I just immediately got out of there. But I understood the tree argument when he started talking about a koala. If you move the koala here from Australia, is it Western civilization or is it still in Australian? I got that. But we a bunch of assholes too. As soon as you start talking about koalas and trees and shit, niggas is gonna throw tomatoes first before they try to really hear. My tomatoes is silent. If I leave, I don't give a fuck what you talking about most times. Because I just been trying to cut you out.
I thought it was a great point. And niggas threw tomatoes and people for that shit. But yeah, I thought it was a great point.
No, I know, but I left because I didn't want to throw tomatoes and hear Mujasi say an hour later, man, he made a good point.
I still don't get it though.
Yeah. And Mujasi, I'm trying to be a better man, Mujasi. I'm trying. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trying as hard as I can, Pauls, to be a better man. But these Negroes keep dragging me back in. They keep dragging me.
Let me ask you something.
I'm glad I finally. Oh my bad. I'm shut up.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Chef. Do the people that got kidnapped count as Western society, or do the people that got kidnapped and brought over here count when you make the point about the West? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah, we count as a part of Western society. We did.
So you didn't get the koala thing. You didn't understand that, and the reason why he said it.
No, I told you I ain't get that shit. Like,
oh, that's why he said it.
He said it so I wouldn't get it?
No, he said it because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
we the damn koala, Chef.
Oh, okay.
Metaphor, yeah. He was trying to explain the collective identity repositioning of Black folks, Africans in America. And I understood deeply his what he was talking about with environmental policy. I think it's an abstract. What he was trying to ground was an abstract idea about exploiting different formats and how capitalism in that way always usurps resources, even when we're looking at human subjects. So there was a method to his madness, and I understood it immediately when he went in that direction. But I can see how if you don't have that context of how capitalism works on a system standard colonization, it would throw you off. So I could definitely see how it could throw you off. But I understood. I think Cuban made a good point on that. Real quickly, Brass, check your inbox real quick. I just got to ask you a question.
Okay, no problem. Also, wasn't there, is Cuban in here? Because wasn't there like a property component to what he was talking about too, in regards to the koala? There was also that they were property. So it wasn't necessarily like a like a rights thing, but that's what I got. But yeah, I'll check my inbox. Which one is it? This one or because I can't check I can't check my actual one because that's live. If I check it, it'll kick the stream offline.
So
and I don't want nobody to see my inbox.
I got one question for Chef. Just throw it in. I don't want to jump in, y'all.
Go ahead.
All right. Chef, to get some further clarity on liberation, would you consider liberation as freedom from your oppressor or just freedom in general?
It would be
Good
freedom.
question.
It would be freedom within that society. Right now, and the reason why I say that is because when we were free, or when we were liberated, I'm gonna use both. We was free to go wherever we wanted to go. So if we didn't want to live in this society no more, we had the freedom to leave. So if you choose to stay, then you are agreeing to the freedom or the restriction thereof of freedom in that society. But you can do whatever you want. You can leave. You can go back to Africa if you want. You feel me? Or you can stay here. And I'm saying now, right? The freedom is subjective to the system that you're under. Do y'all agree? So here in the
That's
United States,
terrible. No, that's terrible.
no, listen, just listen.
I understand you, but
If the
go
white
ahead.
man if we say that we were oppressed and white America was free, then what was the things that was making white Americans free and us oppressed? It was the laws, right? It was the fact that we didn't have full citizenship. But once Jim Crow was lifted and we got full citizenship, then that means that we're just as free as anybody else in that nation. Freedom is subjective to where you're at, to what society you're in. So we're just as free as anybody else in this society. Now you might say, well, I still can't do this. You know, well, any society going to have to put limits and restrictions on people to some degree because you're living in a civil society. You just can't do whatever you want to do, right? You got to succumb to some form of law and governance. So I don't even understand y'all definition.
Would you agree? One more question to follow up. Just a follow-up question, real quick. Okay. Now, would you agree that I think, because I agree with you if you were just using the terminology of freedom, but to use the terminology of liberation, like I said, for me as a Pan-African, you know what I mean, I have a different thought process when it comes to liberation, because liberation looks different for people on the continent than it does, or black people on the continent, then I'm assuming that it does here. Right. Because, like I said, liberation there means liberation from the oppressors. That means full
colonizer,
anatomy. I can't even pronounce the damn word, but full control over your own destiny.
Autonomy.
That's what a lot of African nations, autonomy. Yeah. So African nations have been fighting for their true liberation, which is autonomy from their oppressor, which has been the European, the West, the French, the Portuguese, all these other places, right? So can we agree that liberation and freedom would be two different terminologies to use? Because I would agree with you if you just said we have freedom in America. But liberation kind of is like a stress on the word freedom.
Can I read the universal? Can I read the universal Declaration of Human Rights?
They synonyms, right? It's synonymous. Liberation and freedom is synonymous.
Can I read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights?
Sure.
It says all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. This implies that freedom is an inherent condition of human existence, not a privilege granted by a state or authority. The rights, it said we have inalienable rights and universal rights. The rights of life, liberty, and security are considered universal and inalienable, meaning they cannot be legitimately taken away.
Is that French, right?
Huh?
Is that's
not John Jacques. That's not John Jacques, the social contract. No, that's just the Declaration of Human Rights. That's human. We're human beings. That's also like when a brother asked about, was I born liberated? Yes. What? Like, what are you talking about?
So, Chef, I'll tell you what, man. Chef,
that was good.
Chef is great at starting good conversations, man. I tell you what. And Corey, you see why you can't beat Corey and Chef and stuff, right? Is because Corey can see other people's position and state it back to them and see the benefits of what they're saying, or the negatives or the positives. And that's what this conversation seems like. Everybody kind of came, even Brass is saying now he kind of has a little bit more of a nuanced understanding to a degree from this conversation. I agree with what Chef just said, that the law is what's important, in the sense that that's what gave you the rights and stuff we have in America, the freedom, right? Made us more equal than we were in the past. But also, what I don't agree with is enforcement. You need that enforcement mechanism, because the law can say whatever, but if it's not enforced, which I think some of the other brothers, I think that's kind of what they're saying, that yeah, you have certain rights or freedoms or whatever, but sometimes it's not enforced, or
the way it's applied, you still get denied for loans or whatever at higher rates and stuff like that. So I think you can't lose that either,
Yeah, it's no
Um,
segregation. It's no segregation, but we could redline you into these neighborhoods and still control where
right.
you live. We just call it
Or make,
redline.
right. Or not fund your schools at adequate levels. And the thing is, you can't really,
There's no slave code.
right.
We just call it the 94 crime bill.
Or something like that, right.
And,
But at the
and
same
you can
time,
sue. If that shit is true, you can sue against all of that.
Yeah, the court
and
system
that's true
gives.
too.
No, the court system been giving black people a fair shake forever, right?
No,
And that's true too,
I'm
but
saying if you get redlined in 2025, you can sue a financial institution for that. What are you?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
I'm
chef,
trying to figure out what.
That's hilarious.
chef,
Boy,
chef,
I
what
want to live
Stu
in the. I
P
want to live in
said,
this world that you live
what
in.
Stu P said
I want
is
to move
very
there.
important. What Stu P's mentioned is super important too. You got to stay vigilant because human beings made these laws and they can enforce or break these laws. Corey even mentioned it. You see kind of what's happening now.
Yo,
You have,
can
you have, you
I,
have,
can I add something to the conversation? A declaration is not a law. It's
that's
just a
true too.
document that serves as the foundation for countries that want to write laws. But
But there might be a
declarations are not
law
laws.
based on that
They're not laws.
declaration too. There might be
The
laws based on
Declaration
the
of Human
declaration.
Rights is not a law. That's why it doesn't have no legal binding. It's just not.
Yeah, but it
But there,
goes to the mindset of the West.
But nobody
no,
cares
but
It
about the
goes to the
laws.
mindset.
mindset
No,
That's
that
an
no,
they were
aspiration.
describing. That they were describing, free with their understanding of humanity and the rights that humanity that's inalienable to human beings. And that's one of my points. I'm
Chef.
trying to figure out
Chef, you're
when did
right.
the rest of the
No,
world
West Side. Give me a
come
second.
to these conclusions? When did
Chef,
the
when
rest
did
of
they?
the
When did they
world
sign
come
it?
to these conclusions?
When did the
Chef,
U.S.
It
sign it? Hold
doesn't.
on,
It
West
doesn't
Side.
matter.
Yes, it
I'm
does. When's
talking
West
about
Side?
their
When did they sign it?
philosophy.
Just tell me. You or
I'm
King
talking
J?
about their philosophy.
No. That's fine. You or King
That's a
J?
whole nother argument.
You
That's a
or
whole
King
nother
J?
argument.
Tell me when the U.S. signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. When did they sign it?
What? They never signed it. Why would they
Yes, they
sign
did.
it?
No, they did. The U.S. did sign it. When? The key is when they signed it.
I have no idea.
Go ahead, King J. You read it to us.
It says
World
no.
War II?
When did the U.S. sign it?
It says no, they did not sign it.
The U.S. signed it, but still had Jim Crow, 1948. So when
I said
for the
World War II.
Universal Declaration of
I'll
Human
read
Rights.
it.
So
I'll
while
read
you're
it.
talking,
It says,
I'm not
I'll read
done. I'm not done. So when the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, these ideals that you read to us before, that's 1948.
Mm-hmm.
We still had Jim Crow, lynchings, mass incarcerations. It promised economic rights, housing, education, and fair wages. So when you're saying, and one, I agree fully with Anathema, that is aspirational, but definitely not nothing binding, and it sounds amazing. But I find it funny that we're using this against African Americans in the United States when it was drafted in 1948 and we were still in Jim Crow.
And
so you can aspire and tell us whatever you think about human rights. Your practice is what matters. You can say whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. If you go over there or go, let's say it was signed in France or they was talking about it as the Universal Declaration and the United States is fully behind it. When they got off the plane in the United States, Jim Crow was still in effect for black people. So what
where
fuck
we
does
at
it
now?
matter?
So where we at now?
No, I'm just talking about the human rights. That's all I wanted to talk about. That
No,
declaration. I don't want to
we-
talk about nothing else.
Have we arrived at it yet?
Yes.
Brass, have we arrived at it yet?
You'll never arrive at it.
We've always
Never.
arrived. It's always been there. They just imposed on it a little bit.
You'll never arrive at it 100%. You might be better off now than say 100 years ago, 200 years ago in a lot of ways, but you're never going to get there 100%. And that's where I agree with Stu P. Stu P is saying you
In the
gotta stay
word,
vigilant. Because remember, we got freedom of speech. And guys say I like to go off on these tangents. But I'm showing you how laws
Ask
need
Jimmy Kimmel about
enforcement.
freedom of speech.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm showing. Laws need enforcement. The law can say whatever it wants. But if the people that have the power to enforce the law
Jimmy
do
Kimmel can
not
say whatever
believe
the
in
hell
that
he
law,
want to say.
No, he can't.
no,
Not
yeah, he
and
Yeah,
can.
keep
Jimmy
his job.
Jimmy
Not and
Kimmel
keep
can
his
say
job.
whatever the hell he want to
Not
say.
and keep his job. No, he can't.
Exactly.
That's a private company. Are y'all
No,
serious?
FCC. That's a
No,
federal.
because that
No. The
force,
FCC. The rich. His private
right,
company didn't say shit. It was the FCC that started the hubbub. The federal. That's federal.
federal,
That's
yeah.
not a private company.
The
ABC didn't say
FCC,
shit.
the FCC. So you saying the FCC fired Jimmy Kimmel and then told him he got to pay money to
No.
Yeah,
to
You gotta
Chef,
follow
they,
the
you
say
can
legal
leave
what's
them on.
going
You can
on.
leave them on this one, Chef. They're
Hey, can I go?
infringing they're infringing on the freedom of speech with this. Everybody should be up out in a rage, whether this a white
Actually,
man or not. Right? Every
No, you don't have
U.S.
freedom of
citizen
speech. You
should
don't
be
have freedom
up
of
in
hey,
speech.
arms over it
You don't.
you,
right
You don't
now.
well,
have
you
freedom.
can't, but
We're
You don't
talking
have
about the
you can't,
FCC here, not
Let that
but you
man
can't.
finish
the
his
federal
sentence, bro. Why
government.
y'all
Let's look at
y'all
it.
itching to talk too much? Let the man finish talking and then jump.
Everybody cut me off. If
I know that's
go
cool.
ahead.
No, I just wanted Chevron to know that this we're the Trump administration is trampling on the First Amendment. You see what I'm saying? And this is no joke. Every U.S. citizen, I don't care what your ideology is, bro, you should be up in arms about it. Period.
First of
That's
all,
period. Point blank.
Max the question, where did he see it?
What?
I'm about to look it
I,
up.
I can give
He
it.
said it. He said
Yeah,
it. He
please,
said it
please
on
do.
his.
But
He said it on his monologue on the Jimmy Kimmel show on ABC. And when it was done, there was no issue until the head of the FCC came out and threatened. They
No,
said it
I'm
was
just saying, where
the.
did he see it? Because the
Oh
FCC
no! What
only
did he
has
Bro,
see?
if
It?
you listen to what he said,
obscenity
all he
of
said,
obscenity clause,
all,
but you don't have free speech in a private company. That's been decided
No,
already.
but what we're saying, no
That's what I
anathema,
was
is
saying.
that what we're saying, no anathema, is that it wasn't the company.
it wasn't a
It
correct.
wasn't the company
Yeah,
that did
I
it.
know.
It
That's
was
why I
the.
want to know what he said, because the FCC only have jurisdiction over
He didn't
speech
say
when you
nothing.
violate
He didn't say.
obscenity
He didn't
clause.
say. He didn't say
So what was
anything
the
that violated the
obscenity?
FCC.
It wasn't
Yeah,
say
he didn't
yeah.
say.
He didn't say
It
nothing.
was. It wasn't something that
right,
violated the FCC.
Because the
It
thing
wasn't
is,
something.
right.
every president, even when Biden was there, they used to make jokes on Biden all the time. They made jokes at every president, and nobody
Yeah,
else. And guess what? After it happens, he tweets out, "Oh, the guy has no talent. His ratings are low," and he's been tweeting all that since earlier this year about
So
This
fouling his
says.
quote.
This is.
but it has to do.
So
No.
if the
This is what he
FCC didn't
said.
violate the
This is.
obscenity clause,
This
how
is
does
what
the
he
FCC
said. This is what he said.
jurisdiction?
He
Thanks for
said
reading it, bro.
we hit some new lows over the weekend. The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Shirley Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism, but on a human level, you could see how hard the president is taking this. And then it goes,
Yes,
and then it goes.
he plays a clip.
When he played a clip, then the clip cut into Kimmel's broadcast showing Trump taking questions from reporters after the shooting, one of which offered their condolences for the death of the president's friend. When asked how he was holding up, Trump replied, "I think very good. And by the way, right there where you see all the trucks, they just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House." The cameras then cut back to Kimmel, and he says, "Yes, the president is at the fourth stage of grief, construction." He says, "Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish." Then he claimed Trump's seemingly nonchalant comments didn't happen just once. He started talking about when I heard it, I was in a. He said that Trump said, hold on. Okay, he says Trump says, when I heard it, I was in the midst of building a great ballroom. For 150 years, they wanted a ballroom at the White House. They don't have a ballroom. They have to use the tents on the lawn for the President Z when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. So then Jimmy Kimmel says there's something wrong with him. There really is. We installed the most beautiful chandelier, sconces like you wouldn't believe. Why are we building a $200 million ballroom in the White House? Is it possible he's doing it intentionally so we can be mad about that instead of the Epstein list? By the time he's out of office, the White House will have slot machines and a water slide. That's what they're, and then right after that, the ABC didn't say anything. But right after that, the FCC chairman came out and said that his comments were irreprehensible and that there will be regulatory suspensions coming from them if there isn't an apology. And then the two largest people that carry the ABC syndicated shows, one of them said that he has to donate to the Charlie Kirk family and donate to Turning Point and an apology, or they're going to suspend showing ABC on their networks. And then the other one just said he needs to make an apology, and then ABC suspended him indefinitely. So that's the turn of events. But it started
ABC
with
suspended him.
ABC.
They all
suspended him.
said the FCC did it.
That's not what we said. You
They
didn't
did.
listen.
Yes, y'all did. Yes, y'all did.
Listen
Y'all
to the
said
phone.
the FCC
Listen. No,
did
we
it.
didn't. We
Yes,
said
y'all
that
did.
Chef, it doesn't matter.
Censorship.
If they are censored. Chef, it doesn't matter.
After he was done talking, after he did his monologue, I said ABC didn't say anything. The first critiques came from the FCC chairman. That's a federal. He's the one that said that the comments were the worst he's ever seen, essentially, or heard on TV. And then he threatened regulatory fines. He didn't actually do anything. He just made a statement. Then the other
I
two
heard
came
y'all
out.
say.
Whatever. You just want to stay on that. Go ahead, bro.
I asked specifically, did the F and y'all said that it was the FCC and it was
censorship.
Chef,
Right, it was censorship.
It doesn't matter.
The
It
people,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we said the FCC or not. In
Yes,
reality,
it does.
you
Yes,
no,
it does.
brother,
the
brother,
people,
you got to be able
That's
to
very
read
important.
between the
That's
lines.
very important.
You got to be able
there
to
are
read between
companies
the
who
lines.
own the censorship, and when the companies that own weren't going to that they were upset about what was said by Jimmy Kimmel, they made threats to ABC, saying that they were going, just like he just said. Brad just explained it. They made threats to ABC, which made ABC then go and have to suspend Kimmel. So the FCC and the censorship board is the ones who actually got
No,
Kimmel
they did.
suspended. That's
No,
why
they
he's not
Look,
fired.
Chef, the
They
the
did
bottom
too
line,
get him suspended because
the
ABC didn't
did
want
it.
the repercussions
Hey, see
of
that.
the
Hey, see that. See
FCC
that.
to come onto them.
Hey, see that. He
I'm
can't
not
hear you.
listening to y'all.
Yeah, he can't hear you. Don't listen. Don't use no point. He can't hear you.
Chef, the bottom line is, Chef, the bottom line is he's been threatening this dude since July and before this year. He tweeted there's a
Who been
website you can
threatening
go
him?
on.
Watch
The
Roland
president.
Martin, Chef.
The president
Who
been
threatened?
threatening
Who
the
threatened Jimmy Kimmel?
president. The president been
Oh,
talking crap
Trump
about
been
this dude
threatening. Okay.
from the beginning. Listen, you got to be able to read between the lines. You can't wait for stuff to be spelled out to you. And that's why I said yesterday, politics. That's why I said yesterday, you cannot discount the state. The state is that's why I say politics is the biggest thing that affects your life. It's the number one thing. And you know how you can prove how much power you got as a president? Or especially if you're willing to wield it like our current president wielded it. When he won, the richest
Y'all
guy
are
in the world,
exhausting. You know that y'all are exhausting.
the richest guy in the world.
You're
and all
calling
the big,
us exhausting?
Yes, y'all are exhausting, yo.
the richest guy in the world and all the big tech CEOs went down
It's
to his home.
conspiracy after conspiracy.
So
But it's not. It's not a conspiracy though.
on this shit.
It's literally reported, bro. Like Roland Martin did a whole show on it. I think this morning or yesterday.
No, AC dot. So just so we're clear, right? So I said, so to directly answer your question, did ABC say anything before the FCC spoke? No.
No.
The ABC didn't publicly commit to suspending the show before the federal, the FCC chair's criticism. The first quote came from the first. No, it wasn't. It was a threat. Also, it was a threat. Hold on, stay right there. Hold on. How the suspension actually came about? After Kimmel's comments, ABC did not say anything. FCC chair Brendan Carr warned ABC, Disney, and affiliates that there could be regulatory. There could be regulatory consequences if they didn't address what he called Jimmy Kimmel's misleading content. He suggested that those actions will include examining ABC and Disney's broadcast licenses. Following that, major ABC affiliates, notably Nexstar and Sinclair, announced that they would stop airing Jimmy Kimmel Live on their stations. They cited the contents of his remarks and Brendan Carr's statements as offensive and inconsistent with their community standards. Then and only then did ABC Disney suspend the show indefinitely. That's ABC's own decision, like Chef saying, not a direct FCC order. It says why it matters that FCC didn't formally suspend them. The FCC doesn't directly cancel broadcasts or shows. However, its power is more about licensing, regulation, and oversight. Saying we might review your license is different from issuing a shutdown, but it will cause a business corporate decision influenced by political pressure, regulatory threats, and backlash. But that doesn't equate correctly to the government or FCC legally suspending them. So Chef is correct.
Thank you.
Right.
But he's
but
somewhat
the threat
correct.
and the threat and the power is still there. But as far as legality and technically, it was ABC that caved to that pressure who finally suspended them. ABC, that was ABC and Disney.
And it was mainly because of the licensing. The people that own the licensing, they actually went on a podcast and was talking about these threats. They were talking about the fact that they were going to require Kimmel to actually apologize and do all the stuff that Brad's talking about. They got on a podcast and said that they didn't just like put this up in art or tell the news or something. No, they got on a podcast and said it out loud. Like, this is what we're going to require. Otherwise, we're going to snatch their license because ABC doesn't own the license. These people do. These other white corporations own the licensing. So without them giving permission to ABC, then ABC can't do anything anyway because they're using these people's licensing.
Yeah, and the FCC regulates the whole thing.
And
So
he
their
didn't even
threat-
say nothing crazy.
their
And
threat-
if
yeah,
he can
their
do
threat-
that, if they can do that to a company as big as a Disney, that means all of us are screwed.
Yeah,
on
those
that.
companies, yeah, but ABC and Disney ain't no. Let me tell y'all something. If a motherfucker tell you, that's like y'all, we all talk about business owners and this, that, and the other. You could think however much money, what my man say, he was a tattoo guy, whatever. Let the
Nigga,
let
business
the
owner
head of
means
the
bullshit
let
all
the
this,
let the head of the health department. You could say, hey, motherfucker, I'm free, nigga. It's a free world. It's another. Let the health department show up and say, keep talking shit. We're gonna come through this bitch and with a fine tooth comb.
Find something.
We're gonna
Right.
run through this bitch with the white. We're gonna give you the white in the restaurants. For those that ain't, if you're in the restaurant business, you'll know what I mean. There's the white glove. We're gonna run through this bitch with the white glove treatment. Basically, give you some shit you can't possibly pass.
Yep.
And that's a way that's a threat. But Chef is technically correct because the FCC can't cancel somebody, but they can definitely threaten them. So that way we can move away from conspiracy and at least go into legality.
Yeah, they can take away your licensing. Like, that's the whole point of the whole thing is that the licensing people are the ones who are threatening them. It wasn't even the ABC or the FCC. It was actually the licensors. So if the licensors say, well, we're not gonna go forward with licensing you to keep putting your product up, then they just hit. So ABC had to make a rough decision. Like, okay, well, he's not gonna apologize. So
we just gonna go ahead and suspend them, man, and,
Yeah.
and hope y'all cool with that.
And I don't even think it's a tough decision, C-Dot.
But
Because no
they've
matter
done
how
stuff to
powerful,
universities too.
no matter how powerful a motherfucker is, if you from Jersey, I keep saying it, Don Imus was the GOAT. Don Imus was the motherfucking the greatest thing to ever happen to radio at the time. Probably the second most powerful person besides Howard Stern, and he might have been more powerful than Howard Stern. As soon as that motherfucker said nappy headed Negroes, all his power went out the window.
Nappy headed hoes.
Yeah,
But
nappy headed hoes.
who fired him though? Who got him off the air?
There was a FCC. The FCC got involved also, and they were
Really?
talking
The
about
FCC
this, that, and the
threatened.
other. And then the sponsors for the radio station, and he wouldn't
Yeah.
apologize. They made that motherfucker comfortably retire.
The FCC threatened to remove licensing. And
You can't say no
basically,
shit like that. No,
Yeah.
not only that. The college, what's the dude? Brand, I think that's his name. The guy that was in charge of college sports. He said we just won't let y'all show any basketball games at all.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
threatening Don Imus for saying that from the FCC. Now, if your people that watch your show want to say, I'm not going to
What'd you
support,
say?
I don't know if I'd agree with the FCC doing what they did with Don Imus. I
Calling
don't know.
black
Do you guys agree with that?
agree.
Wait,
It wouldn't
calling black
matter.
female basketball players nappy headed hoes?
Let me ask you a question. Was that against FCC rules or something?
That's I
I mean,
would
it's
assume
inflammatory. I'm not saying it's not.
that ain't commentary. That's racist as fuck.
No, he
Okay.
said it's inflammatory.
I see. Well, if it yeah, but
If
because
you
then
watching
now,
a basketball game, let's say you watching the Lakers and the Knicks, and Reggie Miller on TNT say, no, not Reggie Miller, Ernie Johnson on TNT say, look at them protruding mandibular, long leg, big lip niggas shooting threes.
With the fucking 2C head
I
or
don't
4C head.
I don't think the FCC need to get involved. I mean, shit, like we should know.
okay, so AI is saying the FCC didn't get involved in Don Imus stuff.
Right,
Saying
but
the
how
FCC
did he
did
get
not
off?
formally threaten Don Imus with penalties or
So how
action
did
over
he
his
get off air?
2007 racist remarks. I'm gonna read it
How
here.
did he
Or
get off
racist
air?
action. I'm gonna read it here. Penalties or action over his
Stop.
2007.
You gotta read it. We got the original point. What I'm saying to you has been, how did he get off? It's a separate question. How did he get off air? And I'm gonna ask you a question before you answer that. It sounds like you don't have a problem with him saying nappy headed hoes.
No. I have a big problem with him saying it.
Right.
But I think that the FCC to me is it's kind of hard. It's a governmental body, and the First Amendment for freedom of speech says that the government cannot infringe on your rights of speech, right? And so you're going to hear all kinds of wild speech. And I don't know if I'm not saying I'm right. I could be wrong on the way I'm thinking about it. I just don't know how to respect the government.
They're saying that Don Imus, even though he's regulated, Don Imus is definitely regulated by the FCC.
Yes.
But in this case, it says
the public.
His outrage was public, civil, advertisers, and politicians.
Yes, exactly.
So Staples,
and that's what drove him off.
Yeah. Staples, Procter and Gamble, General Motors pulled out. MSNBC canceled the Imus in the Morning show.
Right.
And it was corporate and advertiser pressure.
Right.
The FCC did not step in. Correct.
So this is different than even the Kimmel issue. Because
the
Kimmel issue,
because the